No, no, yeah, no, 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 yeah, no, 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 yeah, yeah, no, yeah, no, no, yeah.
What other vegetables or fruits, Greg?
Where did
Off the top of my head, I can't think of many other
there's like
like
just
I'm not just gonna
names of
list like all types
there
of
we go.
peppers now off the top of my head because that'd be cheating. But
How many peppers do you think you could name in a go?
in a go,
Yeah,
like-
well, you know what? I wouldn't push him. The man eats spicy food on a level that I'm uncomfortable with.
Well, how many types of peppers can you name?
can I name? Okay, so habanero, jalapeno, Thai chili, serrano, poblano,
Doing well.
ghost chili, Carolina Reaper.
Sweet.
Yeah, sweet. Bell,
Bell's a good call.
banana. Yeah, that's kind of off the top of my head. Can't think of any
Banana
others.
pepper.
Banana peppers are delicious. You gotta pair them with the right food though.
Well, okay. What are your thoughts on pepper being the name of the stuff that pairs with salt and peppers?
I'm a little angered by it. Because hear me out. It does add the kick that I like, but I personally would rather be dousing my food in peppers. That's just my take.
What? You'd rather be dousing your food in pepper or pepper?
Pepper.
You see what I mean?
I see what you mean. Yeah, this is a conundrum that I don't appreciate.
I don't like how jacked you look today.
It's just a tight shirt, man. Like, don't. It's not. It's nothing.
Do a push-up.
What? Right now, you won't be able to see it.
Nah, I didn't think you could do one. Never mind.
No, I can't. Yeah.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
Push-up
Which, real
competition.
quick, since you brought up the pepper thing, did Josh tell you about his now vendetta against me?
There's a new one.
There's a new one. Yes.
I-
yes, there is.
I-
New one, I guess.
I would love to hear about it, but let's do this thing first. And
This is
then
a
we
thing
can
we do. That's fair.
and
That's
then
fair.
we can ask, well, that thing and the other thing, because the other thing
And the
has
other
to come
thing.
before even that thing.
All right, I like it. We do have a couple of things before that. That's fair.
Good job.
Yeah.
Welcome to Thoughts on the Bench. Next week is traditionally the greatest day in sports history, which is the draft, which means we normally this week would just talk loosely about it and have our draft show.
Mhm.
But the three of us are going to the draft, and we're not
Curveball.
doing shit that week, so everyone can
Mhm.
suck it.
We ain't
But
doing shit.
we would be doing a disservice
Massive.
to the internet
Mm-hmm.
if we didn't bring back Josh's favorite reoccurring bit, is my guess. And in effect, I don't know what your favorite reoccurring bit is, but I know you're a sucker
I
for
don't
some
think
kneecaps.
I don't think this particular character that this person plays is my favorite reoccurring. I think that's a different character, but
that the same person plays.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. There's a
Uh,
lot to get into. Yeah.
the gentleman needs no introduction unless he wants one, which in his defense, he earned one. Ladies
He
and
did.
gentlemen,
He definitely earned one.
my cousin is Austin. Austin is the ranking. The ranking ranks things, but that doesn't matter today. Because today we have the one and only Professor Rank King. The Professor Ranking. Professor, can you hear us?
That bit worked really well, actually. That worked out well.
How are you all doing? It is a wonder to be back in here
I'm
talking.
still wondering.
Me too.
Talking about sports with you all once again. So thankful and happy to be here to celebrate this with you guys.
Austin, what do you think your favorite bit is that Josh loves?
I don't know. I feel like there's quite a few. There's Professor Moorhead. There's the Rank King. There's Hillbilly Greg. I don't know like how many exactly I can come up with the top of my head. But
Wait.
I thought-
Time out. I'm sorry. What? What was that?
I thought it
Third
was
one?
Hillbilly Denny.
see, I'm having so many characters. I keep messing myself up. I keep making them in my
Let's
head.
let's intro the show, and then we'll get into that, and then we'll get into some pepper talk. Because I forgot about Hillbilly, and then I want to shush. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, action. We'll start with our guest, Os Professor. What are you drinking tonight, buddy?
We have a wonderful drink here today from North Country Brewing Company. The no
Yes,
parking.
sir.
Love it. He just said yes, sir.
The no parking. This is my spot. You jag off. So
Love it. Greg.
So wait, real quick, is North Country claiming themselves as a Pittsburgh beer, even though they're in Slippery Rock with this? Because if that's the case, then
I think
I'm all for
we
it.
proved they thought they were with the Bucko
Right.
Blonde during our
That's
thank you,
fair.
Josh.
Yep.
we'll give you that.
Which
Uh,
we never finished any of that stuff, huh?
Nah.
we're pushing that. We're pushing that for a couple weeks. We got busy shit to do. So
Can I just tell you the last ranking of my wrestlers?
Yeah.
Because dude,
Okay,
like
if you want.
well, here's the thing. I love you guys.
Like right
dearly.
now.
I'm just gonna kick them off because this bit worked so well 4 weeks ago.
Okay. All
When
right.
we
You don't
did
want to
it.
do the actual NFL draft?
Just give me 30 seconds.
Okay, go for it.
He's
It's
very
all
excited
yours.
about this.
Hold on. Where's it's so far down? Okay, what number did we fucking stop? 20?
I think it was 20. It was
All right,
20.
20 was Austin. This is the top 50 wrestlers of all time. It was a great bit if done at once. The top 20 wrestlers of all time: 20, Baron Corbin; 19, John Morrison. The funny part about that is that I listed all of John Morrison's characters on this list.
He did.
18, Logan Paul; 17, Draw the Destroyer; 16, Bray Wyatt; 15, Seth Rollins in the Shield, but also sometimes outside of the Shield; 14, Stone Cold Steve Austin; 13, Bobby Roode's but only his song; 12, Captain Insano; 11, Cody Rhodes, he's earned it; 10, The Demon; 9, Mercedes KV; 8, Miss Mercedes; 7, Mercedes Monet; 6, Sasha Banks; 5, Shinsuke Nakamura because he's sick; Bruno San Martino next, then Bad Bunny, then Randy Orton, and then the only motherfucker that was ever born to fly, Evan fucking Bourne, #1 wrestler of all time. That bit I wrote ready to display, and that's why I'm like, all right, Sasha Banks is on Josh's at 47. Can't wait to get to my top 5. Let's do the draft now. Sorry, Josh. I love you. Do you know how much research I had to do to find all of Sasha Banks' fucking
A lot.
characters?
A lot.
That's-
No,
a lot.
yeah.
one
a lot,
Wikipedia
yeah.
link. It wasn't that much, but the thought was a lot.
Snoop
I
Dogg's
named
niece.
Johnny. I put Johnny Mundo. I put Johnny Blaze. I put Johnny fucking everything.
Yeah. He's had a lot of Johnny's in fairness.
Greg, what are you drinking?
Since it is a draft episode and it is a big and spectacular episode, I had to break out a 19.2 ounce from Cinderlands, the Super Squish Hazy Imperial IPA.
I thought you were going to say a 19.2%. Josh, what are you drinking?
I'm recovering from Greg beating my ass this past weekend, and I have an Olipop.
What flavor?
Cream sody.
The best.
It is the best,
Mm.
objectively.
And I
Orange
have
is my
the-
second favorite, though.
Oh, hot take. I like the root beer second.
That's also in our fridge.
Yeah, I don't
That's-
think
yep.
orange is bad by any stretch, but
Yep.
I'm drinking Suzanne Brewing, the Buffalo Bills brewery next to my work. They're pale ale.
Lunch.
The elevator guy. I told him I was going to Pittsburgh.
Uh-huh.
Big fan. Yeah, Josh, can you take over?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so today we are doing our breakdown of NFL draft coverage. I've asked everybody to put their top, what I have, 5 prospects at each position in here. And I'm just going to kind of flip through some things, and we'll kind of go over different little things, and then we're going to do a mock draft to end the show. And we're going to try not to talk about every single player, okay? So I'm going to ask you, like, who's a guy that you really like at this position? Who's a guy who you think sucks that everybody else likes, okay?
Yes, and everyone shut the fuck up. Josh is leading it.
Yeah,
So if he asks you a question, say your answer and get out of there.
okay.
And Anastasia
Like
Land says
it.
cream sodied. Okay.
Exactly.
Say the person and get out.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So, we just talked about it that Bo Nix is active on a lot of boards. I see Deke, he's at 4 for you, and you're the. Oh no, I'm sorry. Greg also has him, but why? Why do you
Fourth
you have?
quarterback, right?
Yeah, you have him as the fourth
Gotcha.
quarterback.
I thought you meant 4 on the mock. That's
no,
on
no,
me.
no. You have him. That is the highest anybody has Bo Nix. Why are you so high on Bo Nix?
Yeah, I think when you look at Bo Nix and what he did, he is, in my opinion, the guy that they'll deem pro ready. So he's the guy they'll
Sure.
deem the most pro ready quarterback. When you look at his skill set, he is a plug in right now guy. I feel like he could go to the Raiders, compete with Minshew. He could go to the Giants, compete with Daniel Jones. His ceiling is not as high as a lot of these other guys, but his floor and his ability to just go in. I see Bo Nix as a journeyman who have success on a couple different teams in the NFL and somebody that you can kick the tires on and say he'll get us from point A to point B. Not the future, but I do believe he is a really good quarterback.
Fascinating. Okay. Well, just quick follow-up question there. Give me a pro comp.
A pro comp to Bo Nix, I think he has a really decent arm. I think that he is somebody that can get in there and slug it out and kind of move around. I'm not sure right now if it's. I don't want to just toss out Gardner. That seems to be the journeyman everyone loves when it comes to him.
Yeah.
But really, if you're gonna walk around and kind of try to pick someone for Bo Nix, it needs to be someone that just has a little bit of athletic ability, can move around. I think Bo Nix has a better arm. My comp would be Jacoby Brissett in a very high manner, meaning that he's going to learn your offense. He's a game manager. He's not really going to do too much to lose you a game. Jacoby is a guy that has multiple years of success in this league. Multiple teams have trusted him with the future of their franchise for year over year. And I think both of them are just really, really smart players.
Great. Austin, you and I both have Michael Penix Jr. on our top 5 list. And Deke and Greg have both left him off. Why is Michael Penix Jr. on your top 5?
I just think the amount of talent the kid has, coupled with I think a lot of why he's falling off of people's boards is the man has suffered quite a few injuries.
Sure.
Basically has no knees. So, I mean, it's fine to say that, that would be a retrospective, but even so, the kid has a lot of talent. A lot of people have him trying to sneak into the first round. I don't think I see that. I think he's on the borderline of a first round, second round talent, but I definitely think that he'll go in the top half of the second. If not, someone will make like sort of maybe a Lamar move where they trade up for him in the first, just to get a 5-year deal. Good kid, good. I'm just worried about maybe if he had all the weapons and maybe that's why his success bridged. But I mean, it's not like he's Bo Nix where he stayed in college a long time and adapted to different systems and different coordinators along the way. Penix a lot of times can be labeled as a one-trick pony, but it's a pony that can ride you into the sunset of success if given the right time.
He is also a little older. I mocked him going to the Seattle Seahawks in the first round. Kid stays in Washington.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that, actually. Yeah.
They need a quarterback of the future.
I hate that, and I hate what Austin said, just for the record.
Oh, you hate what?
I hate that. Austin, he's a transfer. Like he's
Yeah, he was in Indiana first.
Yeah, I think he has played for a ton of people.
No, I'm not. I'm saying he doesn't have almost the adaptability that Bo Nix had coming in from Auburn and learning from multiple different coordinators. That's what I'm trying to get at.
But they had the same kind of career path.
Maybe
all of these quarterbacks, I wrote all their original fucking schools in their thing. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
And also, I hate him for the Seattle fucking job.
Did Drake May transfer?
No, he's a fucking puss.
That's what I
him
thought.
and JJ both.
Yeah. Okay. So, Greg, I have a question for you. Do you like dudes with big dicks that can throw the ball real far?
I am a big proponent of that genre. Yes.
Why is Michael Pratt and you're not in your top 5 then?
Because if I look at this quarterback class, I'm thinking realistic in terms of all the different options that they have. And I'm sorry, but Michael Pratt to me is at best a sixth round guy more than likely.
Wow.
I'm sorry. He's a gamer. I like what he did in college, but I'm not putting him in my top 5.
How do you
Can
think
I
the
ask-
Titans
can I-
feel about Will Levis?
Yeah. Yeah.
Will
fuck 'em
Levis
up,
at least
Josh.
had like the fit. Will Levis had some
Fuck 'em
first
up.
round like buzz at least last year, and then kind of had a really rough junior season to like give teams pause. But then after a while, he started to rebuild that as the season went on and earned that
Josh.
starting nod for the Titans.
How
So,
many
Get 'em,
Michael
get 'em.
Pratt games did you watch this season?
Get him, Josh.
None.
Okay, thank you.
Being
Moving
honest.
on.
I'm being honest. I'm being
Get 'em.
honest.
All right. Let's jump over to wide receiver. I don't think yeah, okay. Marvin Harrison Jr. is across the top, the number 1 receiver for all of us. I think where things are maybe get a little interesting, and this is not just mine. I've seen this on other things, or teams may be more willing to trade up. If you are needing a receiver, let's say you're hang on, let me go back to a mock here. Let's say okay, so the Cardinals are going to take Marvin Harrison Jr., and you are the Giants and the Chargers. Which wide receiver are you maybe willing to trade up to go get? Or are you hoping falls to you between, I'm going to fuck this up because I can't say his last name, Rome Adunze? I fuck it up every time. And Malik
Odunze.
Nabers. Thank you.
Aduze, you were close.
And then you put Malik Nabers.
Yeah, I did. Sure did.
I love you.
It's been long. Okay.
It is so long.
Anyway, so if you are, let's say, Austin, you're the Giants, Derek, you are the Chargers. Which one do you want, Austin? You're drafting for the Giants.
I mean, that's the thing. You could really go either way with the Giants, but honestly, if you want that outside big threat, then you're gonna want a guy like Odunze. If you want like sort of like your little bit of almost can do everything, little I don't want to say little, but like overall talented slot maybe. Like you want to go maybe Neighbors. I think that personally, in my honest opinion, in terms of athletic ability and everything, I think Neighbors has a little bit up on Odunze. But if I were the Giants in this situation, I would maybe think about going Odunze over Neighbors in this situation to have that final outside threat that they've been wanting for so many years.
Sure. Derek, you're the Chargers. Who you getting?
Yeah, so luckily for the Giants, I'm ahead of them.
Yep.
Because Malik Neighbors is the 1B to Marvin Harrison Jr.'s 1A. He is arguably the number 1 wide receiver, in almost every other class. Neighbors is the word that I use, Austin, when I'm not sure how to call someone little, is a yak guy. They're a yards after catch guy. And there are big yak guys, but little yak guys are primarily the best. Malik Neighbors is Dre said it eloquently only as Dre could. Some people have Malik Neighbors ahead of Marvin Harris Jr. We call those people fucking morons. Malik Neighbors, though, is the number 2 wide receiver in this class. Austin is 100% correct on Odunze. Size, his routes, an amazing wide receiver, but there are tiers. Tier 1 is Harrison. Tier 1.5 is Neighbors. Tier 2 is Odunze. Tier 3 is everyone else. That being said, wide receivers are tough to go after. But if you're the Chargers, you lose Keenan Allen, who is one of the better route runners we've seen in a long time, possession guy. You lose Mike Williams, huge outside guy. You draft Quentin Johnston in the first round, who is a complete fucking bust, but is a street guy and a huge big play yak guy. Rome Odunze is a little closer to Quentin Johnson. So for me, Malik Neighbors filling underneath, you're really looking at a 1-2 punch with the guys you already have on the Chargers. So give me Neighbors if we're not going to go with Brock Bowers or a tackle.
Cool. Greg, I have a theory, and I want to know what you think about it.
I'm all for your theories, bud. What you got?
This is not to discredit Malik Neighbors, but more to pump the tires of a guy that you have pretty high on your list. Brian Thompson Jr. may be the reason that Malik Neighbors was as successful as he was.
You know what's funny? It feels like every year there's a really good LSU wide receiver. Somehow, some way, there's also a partner that he had on that team as well that somehow seems to play just as good. Like I'm not even going to talk about Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. You can even go back further to when OBJ and Jarvis Landry were teammates on that team as well. Like for some reason, like LSU receivers seem to come in pairs when they come out, and somehow, some way, I don't know if it's the Robin somehow ends up in a better situation and therefore they played better, or if the Batman just maybe doesn't maybe kind of like slows down a little bit out the gate or takes a minute to get there. But Brian Thomas Jr. may not have put up the same numbers as Malik Neighbors did, but he has all the measurables that you want for an outside X receiver. Perhaps he's 6'3", ran a hell of a 40 at the combine. He can catch anything he wants, and he may not get the same type of love just because Neighbors is more talented. But Thomas is going to land in a pretty good situation because he's projected right now in like the late teens, early 20s, I'd say, for a pick. And that's usually a contending team with at least stability at quarterback that can maybe get the numbers that he's looking for, can put up some really good numbers this year.
Here's all you need to know. You need to go back and watch Alabama play LSU this year. Terrion Arnold and Kool-Aid McKinstry stayed on their respective sides of the field and let those two receivers switch. And it was awesome watching two first-round level corners go against two first-round level wide receivers. It was brilliant, really. And it was just, I mean, if you want to go watch some fun tape, that's a good one to watch. Because receivers are getting better than cornerbacks and vice versa. It was great tape. I do want to talk about one other receiver in here. Austin, who's Ladd McConkey and why the fuck should I care?
Oh, dude, freaking Georgia Bulldog. Can love him. A lot of times it's weird comparison because I hate comps. I just do. I think they overproject or underproject or whatever the hell you want to put it in. It's unrealistic. But for the most part, a lot of people are starting to compare him a little bit to like a little Cooper Kupp, where he's able
Racist.
to.
Yeah, very, very.
Austin, you're fine. Keep going. You're
His
right
route
on
running
track with what I
ability-
think.
He had to make his point. I get it. His route running ability is out there. It's just far out, unbelievable. He rarely, I don't think, at least when I've watched him, he's never dropped the ball that I've seen.
He
He's
did.
always
He
caught
did
it.
have some contested catching problems this year.
Well, see, people say he can do everything. I'd say he's more of like the route running specialty than the 50-50 catch ball guy. He could do that, but I don't feel like that plays in his strengths. A lot of times people have the realistic comp minus the running back I would have for him would honestly be Deontay Johnson. Who did we just lose? Deontay Johnson. If we were somehow, I know it's weird. The running back of Deontay like catching and then the running back 10 yards and screwing up a play. But
You're taking the negative away, and like I got you. Yeah.
Well, that guy doesn't drop the fucking ball.
Both those dudes dropped the ball, to be fair. So,
regardless, the kid is an amazing prospect. As far as I was seeing with all these different receivers, I was like, well, which one kind of stands out? And like honestly, Ladd's ability to basically turn water into wine with his catches and everything is just incredible.
does he also cook cones like Deontay Johnson does? No.
Oof, I didn't say so. No.
I put on my notes for Ladd McConkey that he was a guy that would fit so well in an offensive geniuses system, right? Give him to Mike McDaniels, give him to Sean. Yeah, go ahead.
No, keep going. I put my hand up to not interrupt.
Oh, okay.
To go after.
Oh,
No, or I would just say, hey. So
Ladd McConkey, offensive genius. That's pretty much. I don't want him to have to be a 1. I don't even need him to be a 2 or a 3. I just need him to be in a system where he has design plays that are set for him. If he went and joined the all-white crew out in LA, that'd probably be pretty great. All right, Derek, what's up?
you notably have Derek's number
Yep.
1 sleeper at
Yep.
3. And I would love to ask you, Josh, a question about
Sure.
why Javon Baker is your guy.
Listen, I like Malik Neighbors, and I think I made that pretty clear, right? I also love the two kids out of Texas, Mitchell and Worthy. I want a guy that wants the ball. I want a guy that wants to win. I want a guy that's nasty. I want a guy with an attitude. I want the dude who's a superstar, wants to be a superstar, to leave a Power 5 to go to technically they were Power 5 this year, but a Group of 5 school traditionally, just because you want the motherfucking ball, is tight. I'm all about that move. And on tape, he shows up. He cooked everybody. He cooked everybody. He said, "Oh, hi, are you covering me today? Sorry, you're going to have the worst fucking game film from today.
Yeah.
Thanks."
Javon Baker's one of my absolute favorite players in this entire class. So I love that he's on your list, Josh. I just want to call that out. Okay,
That's
bye.
also why I have Adunze at 2. They're the same fucking
Yeah.
human. Remember when Adunze, when they were they were they were late in the fourth and they were trying to come back in the who the fuck did they play in the first game? Texas, right? No. Michigan beat Texas in the college
No,
football playoffs?
Alabama,
No, Michigan beat Bama.
Michigan beat Bama. That's right. So they
Yeah.
did play Texas. They were trailing. They were coming back, and Adunze at one point came to the bench, spiked his helmet, and yelled, "Throw me the fucking ball!" And then the next drive, they threw him the ball 5 fucking times. He caught all of them, including a touchdown. I want that guy. I want that guy. And I know that's like a problem child guy or whatever, but like, I'll take it.
Nice hair.
No,
too.
Josh, I disagree with that. I think that having a guy that wants the ball, if you're willing, if you can back up what you're doing, I don't think that's necessarily a problem child. I think that's someone who is willing to say, like, give me the ball, I will make things happen here, because that's how they contribute to try to win a game. So I think that's something that can be like kind of I don't want to say coach, but it can be something that can be kind of like turned into a positive.
Yeah, by
for
a guy
who has that
maybe
much passion.
by the name of Jim Harbaugh.
Perhaps.
You think he may be able to reel that kid in? Maybe.
I think he was taking notes during the national title
I
game.
bet he
Perhaps,
was,
just
too.
saying.
Okay.
Mhm.
Let's go to running back. In a world where like they're a dime a dozen now, and you don't sign big deals for your Saquon Barkleys of the world, your stud running backs. Is drafting a running back even more important now because you need that 5-year cheap deal before you turn it over? Greg, you look like you got an opinion.
So this
He's
was interesting
shitting.
because I was. We all remember kind of too. This was a strange free agency year for running backs. Almost every name back was on the market, and almost everyone got at least like a three-year deal, maybe with like a 4th-year option with some like good guaranteed money assigned to it. I think the reason for that was specifically because most analysts were looking at this draft and kind of thinking it's not strong. Like I think we can kind of all agree that the closest you can have to a starter in this year's class is probably Jonathan Brooks, and he's not even 100% healthy. So looking at kind of the idea of what you can get, I mean, it's better to get a guy that you can probably trust to be a lead back coming into this year and maybe pairing him with someone that might have that explosive talent you're looking for. So I don't think it's necessary in this class because I just think it's kind of a crapshoot to figure out who you would even want.
Okay, so
Oh,
let's break this down. Everybody has Jonathan Brooks as their 1-1. He's that dude when healthy. What's up? You don't like Jonathan Brooks?
All of them suck except for one guy, even though I have him at 2.
Oh, fascinating. Okay, Derek, go ahead. Why is Jalen Wright the best back in this draft class?
Jalen Wright is the best back in this draft class for 2 reasons. 1, because all the other guys suck. 2, because the way the NFL works now is you can have a Bijan Robinson and he still is not as good as a Jahmyr Gibbs. That is what the NFL wants. That is the future of the sport. And Jalen Wright hits every single box for a successful running back not named Derek fucking Henry, who just happens to be 6'9" and 342 pounds. Jalen Wright is quick. Jalen Wright is fast. Jalen Wright is everything the NFL is transitioning to if you are not a certain type of running back. Jonathan Brooks reminds me right now, and tell me if I'm wrong, guys, of Roschon Johnson, a guy we all loved, a guy that went to the Bears, a guy that had a great situation, a guy that is not a starting running back. Jalen Wright is a weapon. He is a weapon that will be used across the board. The reason I have Brooks at 1, technically at the running back position, Brooks is better. Is he what the NFL actually is going towards, which is all these committees? And to answer your initial question, Josh, every team every year should draft a running back and a quarterback, no matter what.
And you don't have him mocked in the first round.
I do not.
You don't have any running backs mocked in the first round.
I think if you have a running back mocked in the first round of this year's draft, you do not have a good grasp on talent. All of them are not good, but Jalen Wright has the best chance to actually be something. I like Shipley's catching. I like Benson's shiftiness. Bucky Irving reminds me of a 3-down back. I don't hate Frank Gore for the pedigree there, Josh. I know you have him. And Blake Corum is going to be the great thunder to somebody's lightning.
Yep.
None of these running
Ooh,
backs
Blake
would I want the Steelers to even attempt to kick the tires on until the 3rd or 4th round.
And none of us have a running back drafted in the first round. Good job, everybody. You passed the secret test. Congratulations.
I was a little worried about you, Josh.
I love Blake Corum. I'm not
I know
gonna,
you-
I love Blake
I honest
Corum.
to God, I honest to God thought that you might sneak in Frank Gore Jr. on that one. Just because,
Also,
honestly,
I texted my lovely girlfriend. I said, "You're hot. Just wanted you to know." She said, "Can you focus? Go Vols." So she's watching.
There you go. And
Damn.
go
oh,
Shout
she's
out-
a Tennessee fan. Okay, okay.
Vols. Is
Yes, she is.
here's,
Shout out
here's
Jalen
a,
Wright. Go
here's
Vols.
a wild. Let me just put my little question hat on. Is hang on, fuck! I just lost my idea. Okay,
No,
I
put the
was
question hat
really
back on.
It's
excited
back
to
on,
get
it's
to
back
that
on.
question hat for a
is
second.
Jalen Wright the best prospect to come out of Tennessee this year?
This year?
Not even a
Yeah.
discussion.
Yeah, I'd say
I
so.
love Joe Milton, but he's not in our top 5, and he's not in your top 6, Josh.
No, Joe Milton's not. I like Joe Milton. He's not. Okay. I'll be interested to see how much that holds up as we move. Yeah, go ahead.
You said Greg hates guys with large
Dicks.
penises.
Yeah.
Dicks, thank you.
Mhm.
That can throw the ball very far.
Yeah, Joe Milton
Yeah.
can do that.
But you don't
Yeah,
have
we'll
Joe
do that.
Milton in your top 6.
No,
So
you
Josh,
clearly
yeah.
don't like that
you
either.
hate guys that have large.
Or he's under the
sexual
assumption
reproduction
that Joe
organs.
Milton does not have a big dick. So
I
that's
think-
a problem.
I think,
seen
and
him
this
throw
is
the ball.
this
I can
is
pause.
this is such. Okay. I still think, with the exception of C.J. Stroud, the NFL does not know what to do with an African American quarterback who's a pocket passer that can throw the ball.
I mean, agreed. Gardner Minshew has been tossed around to a ton of teams. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, it's annoying.
So, anyway,
I mean, in the words of the antithesis here is if
Yeah.
you've seen the movie Role Models, you white, you Ben Affleck, you black, you're a Russian quarterback.
yeah,
That is how the world sees quarterbacks here, despite Jacoby Brissett, despite Tua Tagovailoa, depending on that edge there,
and
despite Russell Wilson not being a Russian quarterback. Josh, you are correct.
I don't see a world where, you know what I mean? Like, I don't see a world where he's sexy on paper to a lot of people.
Well, shout out to Austin for sending the link saying he might convert to a tight end. Shout out
Exactly.
Tyree Jackson.
and they're like, does that is that
Forgot
not
about
just
Tyree
like the
Jackson.
best?
Yeah, he converted to tight end. Yeah, you're right. Should.
Yeah, that's why I didn't pick Logan Thomas because Tyree Jackson failed.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump over to
No.
tight end.
Ooh, you would, you
Ugh,
salty dog.
ugh.
Yeah, I know. Everybody
Oh, boy.
kind of has Brock Bowers.
Not
mocked
everybody.
differently.
Yeah, Josh, I need an explanation on you for this one. This is some bias on your part.
I would love to know why you don't have Brock Bowers as your number 1 tight end in a
he's-
class full of special team linebackers.
he, he is my number 1 tight end. He's the first tight end off the board.
Theo Johnson is your number 1 tight end in the tight end.
I
in
need
my
an
draft.
explanation.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant my mock. I was talking about mocks.
No, yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
so sorry. Keep
Okay.
going, Josh. Keep cooking. Keep cooking.
No, hang on. So Theo Johnson is 6'6"
Shout out Penn
and
State.
300 pounds. And Greg, you can't teach that.
Oh, fuck off.
And he's a nasty motherfucker, and he likes to play physical. I will always take a physical tight end because, like what you just said, right?
He's not 300 pounds.
That's what his thing says.
260 per the internet.
No,
Fuck yeah.
Go to. Hang on, I'm pulling it up now. If we go to
300,
know what?
Josh.
tight end,
Jesus, man. You know what that is? That's a great blocking number 2 tight end. That's exactly what Theo Johnson is.
hang on, I gotta mute this so we don't. Okay, you're about to eat your words because right there,
What
Theo
site?
Johnson is 6'6", 59 pounds.
That none of the words you said have a 3.
Yeah,
You were 40 pounds off, my brother.
I
in
think that was
Christ.
the dyslexia.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
How
Thank
did
you.
Oh.
Keep going.
dyslexia get 300 to
I'm
259?
done with him. I'm
Anyway.
done with him. You can't teach that, Greg.
you can't.
No, you can't.
I do
You-
think though
You
ultimately
can
what
inherit it. You can't.
shut
teach
the fuck up.
God.
Okay. So what I was trying to get to is that everyone has Brock Bowers, but everybody has mocked Brock Bowers a little differently.
Yeah.
What do we
Mhm.
think? Like, you guys kind of have him a little higher. Well, no, Derek's got him at 10. Greg, I didn't see him on yours.
On the mock? No, I
Yeah.
had him.
Brother, I
5 to the
Oh,
Chargers.
yep. Okay, 5
Yeah.
to the Chargers, and
Yeah,
then
I was
Austin
looking
had
lower
him
too,
going
Josh.
to Denver.
Yep.
Is that what we're looking at? Is that he's going almost as like a I don't like the wide receivers that are left. I'm going to take Brock Bowers. Is that what we're looking at, Derek?
Brock Bowers, if I may,
Yeah.
all 3 of our landing spots are the most popular.
Sure.
Like we have done a good job, the 3 of us, at putting, and I need to, if you
I
have
have him at the Chiefs at 31.
okay, which is totally fine. The 3 of us have him at the 3 respective places. The Chargers was the sexy one, and then they got rid of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. For me, with the Jets, they could easily go tackle, easily go him to get another weapon. The Broncos, they really just need a ton of talent. When it comes down to core players in this class, Brock Bowers is arguably the number 1 prospect in terms of, it's him and Marvin Harrison in terms of like football players.
Yeah,
The downside with somebody like Brock Bowers is he isn't your traditional tight end, meaning your traditional block off the tackle. He can block. His comp is George Kittle.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers is a wide receiver that just happened to be born 6'6". So for me personally, Josh, I the reason, and we don't do trades in these mocks, so I defend you, he wouldn't last to the Chiefs is even if he fell to the 20s, somebody would trade up for him because he is arguably, if you're going to rank all pass catchers, he's number 2 behind Marvin Harrison Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue if he's even so much as to get past the Broncos, you got to think if we, because we don't traditionally do trades, but in the actual NFL draft, you bet your bottom dollar that the Cincinnati Bengals would easily trade up and take Brock Bowers to finally
sure.
compete.
Who is that?
I think Indy would be like absolutely trying to get him in a heartbeat.
I think every team in the NFL would be very, very, very happy with him at tight end. And Josh, I would love to know why, 1, he fell that far, but 2, why the Chiefs?
Yeah, so in mine, I use the little we use Pro Football Network as our mock draft thing, and I love this one because it always gives you the little what the need is, and tight end doesn't really come up regularly on that.
Good point.
So I think like I kind of ignored that a little bit. If you look at mine's got a lot of tackles going, a lot of quarterbacks, wide receivers, a lot of edge players going, which I think are like the sexy players, right? Everybody, like, if your team drafted one of those positions in the first round, you're fucking excited.
Yeah.
If for some reason he started to tumble downwards, Austin said wouldn't be surprised if the Bungles moved up. I wouldn't also be surprised if the Chiefs moved up to get the replacement for the aging Travis Kelce so that Patrick Mahomes could continue his reign of terror on the NFL with just basically new Travis Kelce without the Taylor Swift girlfriend.
Well, that's a big without. One thing that I will say to you to the tune of the 3 of our teams, Josh.
Sure.
We're going to go, and we're going to go to see if you know these people.
Okay.
Will Dissly.
No.
Hayden Hurst.
Yes.
Donald Parham Jr.
No.
Stone Smart.
No.
Those are the Chargers tight ends.
Yeah.
Let's move over to Denver.
Okay. Jacob Butts.
Adam Troutman.
Oh, what a deep cut. What a deep
Yeah,
cut.
Jake Butts, great cut. Adam Troutman.
No.
Dayton kid, loved him.
Okay.
Greg Dulcich.
No.
That's a Colorado State kid.
Oh.
Lucas
Was,
Kroll.
Wait. Hang on. Let me see him.
Yeah.
Drake, what? Dulcich?
Greg Dulcich. He's got some hair.
He's a dynasty pick for me this past.
Was, yeah.
Greg Dulcich is a good shot at dynasty because in the right situation and the right thing, he produced really well his rookie year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Adam
Okay.
Troutman, my boy, that just never pinned out. Okay.
Oh,
Josh.
you were so
oh, yeah,
high on
this
him,
guy.
too.
Okay, I know who this
Yeah,
guy is.
I was
now.
super
Okay.
high on Adam Troutman because he blocks. He's a 3-down tight end. Josh, Tyler Conklin.
I do know Tyler Conklin.
Okay. Jeremy Ruckert.
No.
Kenny Yaboa.
No.
Zach Kuntz.
Yeah, I know who Zach Kuntz is.
Who is Zach Kuntz?
Zach Kuntz played at Pac-12 school. I want to say it was a California team. I like
Name
USC.
Yes.
That's what I thought.
No, he played at Old Dominion.
Damn!
You know, so you know one tight end each on the teams, and it's not their starter. All three of our teams.
Dude, this guy's yoked, though. Look at him.
This is what I missed.
Yeah. Most tight ends are usually big. And
Yeah, I like this guy. Let's look at him in a Steeler uniform.
You could have named a school that wasn't even in the pack, and I was giving it to you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right,
Mhm.
take back over, Josh. I'm sorry. I
No,
just
you're
wanted
good.
you to
I'm
know
having fun.
why the three of us had him
Yeah.
there, despite the lack of tight end need.
No, for sure. And like you said, behind Marvin Harrison Jr., like there are 32 NFL franchises are going, gosh, I hope I get Brock Bauer. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah,
And also, you know why I also have a lot more faith in Brock Bowers this year?
sure.
I think how the stigma with rookie tight ends has always kind of been like there's an adjustment period to get to when you get to the NFL. Like TJ
Yes.
Hawkinson was drafted high and he didn't like mesh right away. Like we're still waiting for Kyle Pitts to actually do something in the NFL after
Right.
the first couple of years.
Yeah, I
Just
guess
saying.
1,000 yards is rookie
I was
year
gonna
isn't
say,
something.
didn't he?
Austin,
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Whatever. He needs a quarterback, I guess. But
He has one.
Sam Laporta last year had a great rookie year, and that has kind of weirdly renewed my faith in the ability for tight ends to actually play well in their rookie season, especially if you're put in the right situation. So if Brock Bowers is put in a spot where he's going to be utilized a lot more, that gives me a bit more faith than probably other tight ends previously to be able to produce well their rookie year in that case. And he has the talent to back it up as well.
I'm going to go to center next.
This is a
I
good one.
feel like this might be the most volatile group of the draft class this year. I feel like a couple of weeks ago we were talking about that there's like 2 or 3 great centers, and it feels like maybe we're sliding back the other way, and they kind of seem to be jumping over each other a lot. Obviously, Jackson Powers Johnson continues to be a high pick for everybody, but like Cedric Van Pran is now getting in the mix. Nick Samick, Graham Barton is now in the mix. Like, there's just
Yes.
some weird shifting happening there. Outside of, we'll say JPJ for short. Who is your like low key? This is who I really want, Austin.
Oh, you'd have to go back to my mock for not the one this one, but the one online. Traditionally that was in a trade scenario that I had, but man, I really just I like Van Pran, man. I just maybe it's the Georgia Bulldog bias and everything, but like when you get an award for blocking, like Christ, that's what we need. We need a center that can block. And I know people are like hopped on the athleticism of Barton, and the leg kind of worries me a little bit with Frazier if he'll start right away, and we need the center to start right away. I don't know. There's certain things, but I think if I had to do one, I would do Van Pran.
Derek?
Yeah, no, I think the thing that Austin mentioned the most here is that we're comfortable with a few names. JPJ is a plug-in and go now. Graham Barton has not really played center since his rookie year. Another guy, Tanner Bertolini, he can move around the interior. He's a good guy. I cannot go through this segment without saying out loud for everyone in the back how much I love Zach Frazier.
Okay.
And I understand Austin's correct. He broke his fibula or his tibula in November. Zach Frazier, Josh, do you know like how centers, you think of Jason Kelce, you're like, oh, they're athletic, they can move. Zach Frazier is a paperweight.
Yeah.
Zach Frazier is a cement block.
Yeah.
Zach Frazier is that pole that when you're drunk and you think I can push that over, and you just fucking can't.
Yeah.
He is a sturdy, and guys, I'm gonna say it out loud. He is the perfect center for our new offensive coordinator. He is exactly what Arthur Smith has had in Tennessee. He is exactly what he tried to get in Atlanta. I love JPJ. He's an athlete. He can move between guard and center. I think Van Pran is a solid selection. He will start somewhere. I think Graham Barton is a swing at center, I am. I know you guys are. Graham Barton is a swing at a straight down the line fastball that probably you're going to hit and at least get a single. He's going to be good somewhere.
Yeah.
Zach
Right.
Frazier is a fucking center, though. He is a
Mhm.
center. If Graham doesn't work out at center, based off what the Steelers have done in the past, drafting guards as centers and hoping, Graham Barton will move to guard and be a Pro Bowl guard. And we need that. Zach Frazier is a center, and I love him.
Okay.
Shout out West Virginia, that stupid ass state.
Greg, actually, I'll dig in with Derek here for a second, real quick. Zach Frazier has had some penalty problems.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure you were aware that he, like, out of all the linemen on this list, was called for holding the most.
Good.
Okay. All right. Cool.
That means
What's
his quarterback didn't get hit.
True. It did not get it.
He
Yeah,
cares
true.
so much more than all the other guys about his quarterback not getting hit that even when he gets beat, he cheats so that his quarterback doesn't get hit.
I love that.
You're
spin.
welcome. Anywhere.
That's another word for nastiness. I like that. That's another
He's
word.
a thick. He might be 300 pounds, Josh. There's your tight end.
I think he is.
Yeah.
I'll look it up. Greg, do you have one that we haven't talked about yet? If not, that's okay.
Honestly, no, because here's the thing. Early on in this process, like I wanted JPJ because I looked at the measurables. I saw the
He is
6'4", I
313.
saw the 313. Like he just moved great at the Senior Bowl. They were getting great reports on him and stuff. And like Cedric Van Pran, to me, like he also is kind of in that same line as well, where he has like I think he has injury issues and stuff. He was actually recruited out of high school as the #1 center in that class going to Georgia. So like he's played center all of his life, pretty much. So like there is some pedigree there, but and I will admit, I was not sold on Zach Frazier. Part of it was because of the West Virginia bias, and another part of it was because like I just didn't see that athleticism type mindset that I feel like the Steelers lean towards with regards to their center picks. But the more tape that you watch of him when he was healthy, and especially after seeing like after he broke his leg that he had to crawl off of the sideline to play, that's something about that kid that you just tell how much he loves playing there. And I have read some of the same things that Deke has seen on Steelers Depot about how like he just fits Arthur Smith's offense perfectly. So my gripe about it is like I don't necessarily think he's a good pick at 20. I think it's a little too high for him because I think there's other talent there that would fit that spot a little better. And I feel like that's a reach for a need. But I can be sold on it maybe down the line, depending on how the rest of the draft shakes out. But I do like Zach Frazier the more I've kind of like slowly kind of gotten to know what his game is.
Was the question who the Steelers would take, Greg, or is the question, is there a center that you fucking want to fuck? Because the answer is Zach Frazier.
It is Zach Frazier. Yeah, it is.
All right.
You're welcome.
I'm going to wrap up the offensive side of this segment. This will be the last one we tackle here, pun intended. And then
Good job, dude.
we
Look
will.
at you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I like
Thank you.
Josh's
Yeah.
Thank you. And then we will take a. Anybody needs to take a pee break or go refill their beer can do that while we're doing that. Okay. So, wrapping up the offensive side of the ball. Who's your big bust out of Florida State that plays wide receiver? Coleman? Is that his last name?
Deion
Joe
Coleman.
Alt is my big bust.
Okay, I'm
Really?
interested because I've never. Everyone's always praising that he's the first tackle off the board. So please, I'm interested in this.
I don't think that guy can survive on an island by himself against NFL talent. I think he gets put on skates a lot. I think he gets beat to the outside a lot. And I feel like whenever I watch his tape, he is way too close to Hartman. He has his back damn near touching him. And at that point in time, that's not an NFL level talent. That's a guy who's big and can handle playing against smaller players and maybe bullies them a little bit that way. But also when you watch the tape against Michigan, you watch the tape against Alabama, it's not there. He's getting put on skates, he's getting beat to the outside, and he's in his quarterback's fucking face. That's my Joe Alt hot take. Will it be true? Hard to say. Derek.
To your point,
Yeah.
this is a non-elite level tackle class. What up, Lance? Bang, bang. Bang, 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 bang. Bang, bang, bang. Kill shot, bang, bang.
No one saw
Um,
it other than you guys because it's cropped out on his
Oh,
face,
okay.
so-
His wife was shooting at us. Joe Alt is not he is not
Elite.
the elite tackle that we have seen in previous classes.
Sure.
He's not Wirfs or Wills. He's, you know what I mean? He's not that guy. He's safe.
Yep.
He's very safe. So, to your credit, Josh and Austin and Greg, obviously tell me if I'm, wrong there. I think Joe Alt is the number one across the board due to him being a guy that will have a very, at the lowest level, Garrett Bowles-esque career. Meaning he'll be a guy in a franchise in which he'll make some money and he'll do fairly well, and they don't kind of need to upgrade, but they might upgrade. He's safe. So do I think that he's a complete piece of shit human? Not as much as you do, Josh, but I think that he is
Texas character.
safe. Yeah.
Yeah. Greg, you look like you had a rebuttal there.
I think safe is the best way to kind of describe him, because if you look at every other tackle in this class, and by the way, I agree this isn't an elite tackle class, but I think it's a very good tackle class with just the depth that is available there.
There's
But
a
I
lot.
could look at probably a lot of those tackles and find something about them that I don't like or I don't trust. Alt at least doesn't necessarily have that. I don't think he's going to be. I don't know if he'll be the best tackle in this class. This gives me like 2020 draft vibes where he had like 4 offensive tackles in the top 14 that was trying to figure out who was actually going to be the better of them. It was like Thomas and Willis and Wirfs and Becton. So it's like it's an interesting class, but I'm with you, Deke. Like Alt is the guy that I know I can plug in. He'll be there for like 10 years maybe. He'll make all pro maybe like 3 times in his year or something like that, but he's still someone that's serviceable.
Yeah, he's no Joe Thomas, but he'll be there.
Another
put my
big problem I have with this class, and I'm going to toss it to Austin after this, there's a lot of right tackles.
Yes.
In today's NFL, is that fucking worth anything, Austin? Is it worth drafting a right tackle at a first-round price?
Well, if Madden franchise mode has told me anything, is that right tackles never get right tackles, and you should probably get them early. No, in all seriousness, look, right tackles are a big position of need for a lot of teams, which I think is why they're being valued so high in this year's draft. And it's weird enough that a lot of the right tackles are also capable of playing right guard.
That's
So
my
it's-
big problem with it.
Yeah. So it's like, is it really that great? I think that a lot of teams, as I think Greg said it, that you can mold almost like a piece of clay, where you can people always have that weird, can they transition from left tackle to right tackle? Because it's not the same position. It's really not. Some people can do it. Penei Sewell did phenomenal at it. But there are other ones, I don't know the names of, that suck. So, I mean, maybe they're thinking that there's an ability to mold and maybe put them at right guard, or maybe switch them over to left tackle or something of that sort. I'll put my 2 cents in here for Joe Alt, though, and that'll rest my case for that. He's safe, but also where the designation that he is most placed in almost 99.9% of mock drafts, which means it won't happen, obviously, is the Tennessee Titans. And I would argue you're not going to have a better running mate aside you than Peter Skoronski. So if he has any chance of having any all-pro status, being next to Skoronski is going to elevate that so much higher. Will it help like further down the line when Skoronski may or may, I don't know what the Tennessee plan is, but I think that's a good shot for him to at least try to build up some measurables.
Also, I would like to point out as well that I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to have a right tackle that is very good on your line, because in today's NFL, there are a lot of pass rushers that stick to one side of the field. And if you can have a right tackle who can at least manage some of the elite level pass rushers, that's probably a good thing. I mean, we are lucky enough to have TJ Watt on our team, and he lines up against a right tackle every game. So it's one example, but I'm just saying, there are pretty good pass rushers that do not always line up against the left tackle and try to go for the blind side of a quarterback. So,
Derek, do you want to talk about your 1-1?
Yeah, I'm confused. Sorry. So you guys have Joe Alt as the number 1 on your board for tackle.
Yeah.
Both of you, right?
yes.
Austin?
Yeah.
So have you guys never heard of Frank Crumb?
Do you not know who Frank Crumb is?
What the
Oh
fuck?
my god.
What is
I thought he was a
happening?
guard. My
Sounds like
bad.
an evil Disney villain character.
Okay,
Not
Josh,
only-
can I,
not
can I
only
be
is-
offensive?
Is he not a guard? He has played both tackles at a D1 level, Greg.
And
My apologies.
and why is he not your top guard, Greg?
It's a valid point, actually. I'll give
Yeah,
you that.
Austin,
I,
do you
I did
know
not
who
watch enough tape. Did not watch enough tape.
Frank the Mermaid Crumb is?
No, honestly, he sounds like an evil villain Disney name. It's amazing. but I
interesting.
don't know who it is.
Just the number one tackle in the class, not a big deal.
Third
Yeah.
generation D1 football player. Second
Yeah.
generation NFLer. What do you know about that?
Imagine, if you will, Austin, a huge man that
Towering.
ran the fastest 40 for tackles, who has hair like a god, if you will.
Yeah, sure.
It's
Yeah.
offensive that neither of you know who he is, and it's more offensive that Greg has him at the guard, and it's more offensive that he's not your top guard than Greg.
Fair enough.
Frank Crumb
should
stands
be said.
at 6'8", by the way, just in case.
He went to Wyoming, Austin. I
Yes.
know you don't know the bit. Frank Crumb he still was the fastest tackle in
Yes,
the
he
draft,
was.
but he
That's
went to
legit.
Wyoming. And Josh knows him, and he walked past my table once, and I'll say it, I'm man enough. I got a boner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real quick in our group chat, by the way, fuck Dre for getting all hot and bothered by JC Latham running a 4.9. Pretty sure Frank Crumb beat that by 1/10 of a
I
second.
do have an
too.
actual real question, Josh.
On
Not
JC
that the Frank
Latham?
Crumb wasn't. Yeah, so guys, we're very Mims
Yeah.
is what in the Austin?
Yeah, he's not on my board.
Wow.
Okay.
Really?
Top five.
Okay.
Yeah, you have Mims as like your number one if the Steelers had a choice of anybody in the world. Not obviously, but you have Latham at 2, but you keep mocking us Mims, and that's a different question than what I was going to ask. I was going to say Latham or Mims.
Why don't you
I'm
guys tackle that? I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Thank you. I'm confused.
Okay,
Odd.
so my thing of getting Mims.
Yeah.
Let's separate Mims and Latham for a second. The other tackles are on there because they are primarily gone. Almost 99% of the time that the Steelers pick is up.
On
Fuaga-
where? The mock or your ranking?
For most mock drafts. Like Fashanu is mostly always gone. He's either the latest I've seen him is maybe to the Rams. That's as far as I've seen him go. Waga can either be a Raiders pick or he also ultimately always feels like he's in the
Yeah.
Seattle system.
I've seen like Bear Jet comp for him too. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so Fatanu has that like guard comp almost a little bit, so he is most always a Seattle Seahawk pick every single time.
His arms aren't actually that short, Greg.
I thought
I
they
mean,
were.
he's
That was the
primarily-
narrative.
So, and Austin, you keep talking. I'm gonna look up.
Yes, for me, Mims versus Latham, it's all from the perspective of if they get in there, who is going to be able to bring the best out of these guys. I like the comparison of putting Broderick Jones and Mims together because they were on the same team. They have that same mentality now of trying to bring the best that they can bring. Not saying that Latham couldn't do that either, but a lot of times, like I'm really starting to get like real hyped on JC Latham. I know a lot of people are.
Yeah, but you love Mims.
I
to
love
the
the idea
Steelers.
of having
And,
Mims.
and may I bring it up while just down here? Also, for the fact Troy Fontananu arms are 34 and an inch. JC Latham is 35 and 1/8. Amarius Mims is 36 and 1/8. Peter Skronsky 32 and 1/4. So he is 2 inches farther than Peter Skronsky, who cannot play tackle. Austin, my issue with your ranking of the tackles and Mims is exactly what I brought up, which was the Steelers have an inability to train and coach tackles since we lost Munchak, and the comp that Dre gave was, well, we didn't have a first rounder. Oh yeah, DeCastro was a first rounder. Oh yeah, we had Broderick Jones. He's an idiot. That's why he's not here. I love you, Dre, so much.
He very
Um,
much is.
But Oz, you have rode the bus, and this is not an attack. This is a question.
Okay.
You've rode the bus for Mims,
I
but he's
have,
not in your top 5. I didn't even notice that till right now. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I've rode the bus. I've rode it into the ground. I'm really starting to come onto the idea the more. And it's honestly like I'm just sitting here for like 8 to 10 hours a day. I got nothing else to do but freaking listen to mock drafts and listen to everybody else's opinions.
Oh,
that
we're
kind
well aware, and we love you for it, for the
Oh,
record.
just,
Just
you know,
saying.
throw in some tape, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, for me,
Just
like,
kidding. I love you.
no, you're good. A lot of people are trying to say that Latham can transition to guard, and I mean that's
He's
most
a
of these-
guard.
Waga and like all these guys
guard.
can transition to guard. A weird thing that kind of threw me, I will say this, Deke, the last time that I made that Steelers mock, which was maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago, I think that I put Mims ahead of Latham because I had Latham going to the Dolphins with the next pick.
Mhm.
The pro comp that I had for Latham was Mekhi Becton. And
I think that's disrespectful.
that's what I'm saying. Like it got him
which one?
like Mekhi Becton, like tackle.
But it's yeah, and that was more accurate. No, I'm saying, is it disrespectful to Mekhi or disrespectful to Latham?
Latham. It's disrespectful. To
All right, Mekhi went top 10.
Eh.
Yeah, and I guess where I'm coming from, Os, is a lot of the Mims doesn't have the chops or the training you've turned into yet, dude, but just watch him. Which you are
Right.
correct. Watching Mims is beautiful. He is huge. Josh, so you know the traditional skepticism is the snap count.
Right.
And if we have
Wasn't a starter.
concerns, but if we have concerns at Broderick Jones playing left tackle, and we got that, you know, respectfully, if he watches the show, I don't hate you as a man, but Dan Moore sucks ass, and Chuk sucks ass. They're bad at football. I'm sorry, like it just is a known thing.
that's accurate.
If we shift Broderick's to left, which we all want to do, there's a ton of tackles at right. Mims, though, is a guy that could play both. Maybe if we can coach him, and we just haven't been able to coach jack shit outside of maybe second round wide receivers. That's all.
I think my take
defensive
on
ends.
Mims is he's a project, but his ceiling is so much higher than Joe Alt. Did you guys talk about
a good point.
Olu Fashinua?
No, Oli Fashinuna, if he came out last year, might have been the number one tackle
Yeah,
off the board. He goes back to school, and now he's a project with high upside.
that's the part I want to bring up too. Olu strikes me as the guy that worries me as the bust in this
I
class,
don't think
just because of that.
I don't disagree
It-
with that take.
Like if he would have come out last year and would have been a top 5 pick, the funny thing is that the project tag for him would have been fine because he would have been like coming out early. He would have been 20 something years old because he still had eligibility, and everyone would have looked at him and been like, "Oh, look at this just perfect left tackle that we can mold into be the franchise type guy we want." He goes back to college, doesn't improve to the liking of some NFL GMs, and he's still the exact same player. And now he's getting knocked because of the fact that he hasn't improved much for it.
Do you
So
know why?
I find that fascinating. Yeah.
Do you
why?
know why?
Why?
Quarterback change.
Interesting.
They had a
Because of the
true
different-
freshman quarterback who, if you watch those Penn State games early in the season, had no fucking clue what he was doing.
Drew Aller improved significantly during the season, though,
Listen,
man. He really did.
Do not take that comment for me not thinking that he's going to be a fucking stud, because I do believe
Yes,
he is.
him
going
and
to
their
be.
him and their starting running back. By the way, he's a stud too.
Yeah, but Olu was left to defend for well over 10 to 15 seconds sometimes because they just didn't develop the play the right way, or he held onto the ball too long. Like it was like there was a lot put on his plate. You even go look at the center. There's a Penn State center that's a high. He's like
Northside,
something
that
like
right?
that.
Yeah. I've seen some stuff about him.
Go
lately,
look
yeah.
at his missed snaps from last year to this year. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I legitimately do believe it has a lot to do with a true freshman quarterback and a guy that could not get rid of the ball versus Clifford was a four-year
Sean
senior,
Clifford was
five at
like
least.
a 7-year senior.
Yeah,
You
like
have to
the
be
guy
real about that,
had been there forever and was a consummate professional kind of thing. Maybe not a great
Right.
quarterback, but like knew what to get the job done.
Mm.
I believe genuinely that has a lot to do with the freshman quarterback, and I would if somebody goes and gets Olu as a fucking steal, and then they're like, yeah, he's fucking fine, great.
Oh no, Josh! I'm pointing out here that like I've seen mocks that have like ranged like Olu going in top 10 to Olu falling to like the 20s. If he gets drafted in the 20s by someone, that's a fucking steal.
Derek,
in a heartbeat. But
my argument why
Yeah.
he switched so heavily was that he went from having Clifford, who was like a 15-year fucking senior,
Really good point.
to a brand new
Drew Aller.
true freshman quarterback who at the beginning of the season looked like it. And
What,
would
what
go ahead. Oh, he just held onto the ball too long. He would try to make extra plays develop, which really puts your left tackle in a bad position because they're defending for up to 10 seconds at a time, and it's just
Mhm.
there was a lot, I think, and then I
100%.
brought up that the center for Penn State, even his like misfunctioning snaps doubled from last year. So
Yes,
the
yeah,
whole
yeah.
line suffered. It wasn't
Look,
just Olu.
If we walk away from the last year's draft and
Yeah.
all of us are like, okay, yeah, this guy worked out, and we're looking at the tackle position. So this is the interesting thing about this draft. Joe Alt's safe and he's the top, right?
Yeah.
yes.
Would you rather have Olu or Paris Johnson Jr.? I'd rather have Olu.
Yeah.
Would you rather have Olu or Darnell Wright? Darnell Wright can play the whole line, but I'd rather have Olu. Olu or Peter Skoronski? Skoronski's a guard now. He's not a tackle, so that doesn't matter.
He was never
Olu
a tackle.
or Broderick Jones?
Broderick
Personally,
Jones.
guys, I'm close to Olu there.
Maybe similar
yeah.
players.
Anton Harrison, Blake Freeland, DeJuan Jones. You're looking at the class that Olu was going to lead, and it's
You-
not. It's enough for me to go. You know what? I'm not going to go into bust territory, Greg. 100%. You're valid in that thought, like the reasoning and the logic behind it. You would be hard pressed for me to watch tape about this kid and say he's going top of class last year, going top of class this year, if not two. And for me to not go, you know what, man, he does have an upside projection, but he is not a project. He, at the bare minimum, is also safe.
Cool.
I'm wondering if the projection that they're talking about is maybe his run blocking, because his pass blocking is 100% better than his run blocking. He did struggle with it quite a bit when he was coming up.
I mean, go look at
Yeah.
Penn State's running back records
Yeah,
this
no,
year.
I get
I
it.
think he's fine.
To your point about the entire show, Josh, let us shut the fuck up. You get
Oh.
us through the defense, and let's
Yeah.
do a mock draft.
Sick.
Because I just realized
Like
that
7?
I talked a lot.
No, you're good. We're all talking. a lot.
And Austin's wearing a fucking button up. Like, he needs to talk more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it button down or button up?
Ooh.
Button up.
I buttoned down.
Whoa.
I'm wearing. If you're like, oh, put on a nice shirt. All right, I put a button down on.
I
Put a
think
button up.
I think you're going to, if you're going button up, comes with a tie. Button down
Ooh.
doesn't come with a tie.
Oh.
'Cause
I never
Untuck
got
it.
that correlation.
Untuck it only makes button downs.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
I've cheated. Okay,
I
sorry.
get it.
Cool.
Go.
I love that. I'm just really excited that everybody except for Derek is as excited about Byron Murphy as I am.
May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
I sent this in my Dynasty chat,
Okay.
the NFL show, and Winters, a good friend, said, I was driving to my in-laws to pick up Anna and caught Greg naming all of the peppers he knows and was very disappointed, and I shut it off. Matt Paris-Luca, the commissioner. We've all had to shut it off because of Greg at some point.
Oh
Wow. Okay. Fuck your entire dynasty chat.
Colin said,
Yeah.
fucking Greg. Who is Greg?
Wow.
Well, he's skinny. He's skinny Greg. And then there's tall Greg. Lots of Gregs.
Oh,
Lots
so-
of Gregs. Apparently, there's a hillbilly Greg I never knew about.
Yeah,
so go
there's a
figure.
hillbilly Greg.
out there somewhere.
Yeah.
All right,
Thought there's
back to
somewhere.
Josh.
Yeah, so
That's funny.
Why don't you love Byron Murphy like the rest of us do?
Me personally.
Yeah, and then yeah.
So
You just like
it's
that-
not that I don't like Byron Murphy.
Okay.
It's that, may I?
Yeah, absolutely.
Josh is the only one that's watched tape on Byron Murphy.
Sure.
It's accurate.
Okay.
That's accurate. Yep. I'll give you that.
Here's why it's accurate. Greg was 2 weeks ago the biggest. Well, also Josh still has Jerzan Newton, not Johnny Newton.
Yeah,
The
well,
name
Yeah,
is-
I like Drazan better.
Drazan
So,
is honestly better. I don't know
here's the
why he
thing.
changed it, but it's
We-
pissing me off. Actually,
when we started to drop mocks, Greg was the biggest Newton fan
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
I
And
still
you
am.
Yes, but you
Still am.
slipped Byron Murphy because that's the move. That's the popular thing. That's the sexy
but there's
thing.
also I have also seen the measurables, and like while I do like
Yes, we're in measurable
Jerzan
season.
Newton.
I'm with you.
Yes, it is measurable season. Byron Murphy, 6'3", big dude. I think that there's something that to be said about he's getting a little bit more love, but I still like Jazair Newton. Like as he's my guy though. I'm just
Here's-
saying. But
Totally cool. And I have guys at 2, I have guys at 3. Josh, it isn't that I don't like Byron Murphy. It's that I've seen Johnny Newton play, and he got little short arm.
as
he's a
of you, Josh. As
stuffer.
of you.
But Josh, I don't think the question is why does Derek hate Byron Murphy? The question is, how does Josh not love Rook or Rororo?
Well, first off, it's a Pokemon name.
No, we've talked about him. This is one of the Nigerian-born
That's right.
players who just found out about football 6 years ago.
That's right.
Josh, he played at Clemson.
Yep.
A defensive tackle at Clemson who just learned about the pigskin sport a couple of years ago.
Right. Right.
This dude, may I mind you, is almost 300 pounds.
Right.
He's 290, 6'4". Rook is the guy that the NFL can make put it together. So it's not that I don't like Byron Murphy. It's that Newton, Murphy, Sweat, Fisk, all these guys, anybody you want to throw in there, they are decent tackles. If I'm swinging for the fucking fences here, it's Rook or Rook.
So I can hear you. His tape is but that's because
He's new.
It's
He's
what it
brand
is.
He's
new.
Nigerian,
Right,
guys.
right,
We
right.
love that.
I do. Rutgers had a bunch of them at one point. I was all
Oh, what's up, Winners? Winners is now in the chat. Greg, if
What's
you
up?
name a fucking pepper, I will destroy you.
Don't even think about it. You know what's interesting? Your feelings about that. That's how I feel about Chris Jenkins out of Michigan.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
That man moves humans out of the way. He's
He's a
just
big
like,
boy.
I'm sorry, bye. I'm getting to the fucking quarterback tonight. Bye. I think
Yep.
that's why both those Michigan edge rushers are touted so highly
It's-
because they could not double team on the outside because they had to deal with fucking Jenkins. That's the guy where you're like, you want to pick a dude who's gonna fucking kill somebody. That's him. I also like Frisk a lot.
None of us have
Newton-
Mason Smith in our top.
No.
Yeah, sorry, that's a guy that's rumored to the Steelers. Josh, I shouldn't cut you off.
Yeah.
I'm sorry there.
Austin, I wanted to like ask you real quick. I'm surprised you have Tavondre Sweat in yours. Well, I saw Deke has him at 4, but like I thought you would be like me and be a little hesitant to put him in your top 5, honestly.
It's really hard to you separate the attitude in terms of like outside from the player, and I really like Sweat. I mean, I watched the combine and everything, his interview that he did.
Mhm.
Nice kid, everything. Just it seems like just it's a party lifestyle. That doesn't
Okay, raise your
Obviously,
hand
we
if you've never
continuing to-
driven after a night of drinking. Yeah, judgmental fuck, Greg. That's all you got to say, Austin. Keep going. Keep going, but and now granted,
He's
none
a-
of us are worth millions, but still.
He's a wonderful talent.
Also, if
and
my
I
mom's
feel
watching
that,
me.
that he was originally a second round pick that can honestly fall as low as to like maybe like the low 4th. I'd even say early 5 at this point. And honestly, if we picked him, I would love it because we got a tremendous value because of some character issues, and who's better at dealing with character issues than the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Are you sure about that?
Dealing or concealing?
There's a difference, big
And-
difference.
Managing is the right word.
Concealing is the correct word.
Yeah, I think I did a really good job of picking the right words.
Yeah.
So fuck you,
Yeah.
Austin. Josh, back to you.
Yeah.
That's a good breakdown, though, Oscar. Well done.
I think
Thank you.
I think that's probably pretty good for defensive tackle.
I thought you were gonna say defensive players.
Defensive
Yeah.
players.
I was like,
Let's
damn,
go.
dude.
Yeah. I mean, in fairness, like, let's be real here. Like, in terms of defensive players overall, this is just it's an okay
There's,
class. I love this corner class, but like, aside from that, though,
let's
like,
go there.
it's just
I
Corners?
think you're all fucking crazy for putting Quyon Mitchell in your top 5.
Quinyon.
Thank you, Quinyon Mitchell. In
You're
your
good.
why
top
are we
You
crazy?
think we're crazy for that?
Who the fuck did he play against?
Hang on. There are plenty of other guys on this list that have been in top 5s that have also not had like hard schedules. In fairness, come on.
I
Come
played
on.
against the fucking Mac.
Yeah, I have a question. Why do you hate the Mac?
What are we talking about? You have fucking 2 cornerbacks that played against some of the best receiver talent. We were all just jerking off 10 minutes ago. We have tape on all of them. We have tape on Cooper DeJean. I understand he switched to safety, but still, we have tape on him playing against really good fucking talent. Okay? Where is Mitchell's tape against elite level talent? Go ahead.
I have a question.
Sure.
Josh,
Yeah.
this is not an attack.
Okay.
I had him at 1. This is, you know me.
Yeah.
I'm Derek,
Yeah,
your friend.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Who did Frank Crum block against that you want to tell us about?
The 2 dudes that we were just talking about at Texas.
Who are? Don't look at your screen. Okay.
No,
my
Byron
point is
Murphy and
the second.
the dude we're just fucking talking about, Sweat.
What's his first name?
I don't know what his fucking first name.
Okay. So my one thing, there is a Mac wide receiver. Is it Macaulay Corley? Malachi Corley?
Oh, Malachi, yeah, Western
Yeah,
Kentucky.
There is a Western Kentucky wide receiver in here that is universally elite. The thing that Greg wants to push into is Quinyon Mitchell shows all of the traits of eliteness. And if we are going to watch every player ever on their tape of who they played against, we got some big concerns with Caleb Williams at 1. Because I'll tell you
Where-
right now, the Pack's pass rushers are not elite.
He's not in my
No.
top 6.
I would also.
I know, but that is the train of thought that we have. Quinyon Mitchell has everything that cornerbacks want. My question for you, Josh, is 1, Kool-Aid McKinstry at 1.
Yeah.
That's a question mark. And 2, this is gonna sound bad. Who the fuck is Renardo Green?
Yeah, sure.
The Florida State guy. I've read
Yeah.
some stuff about him. Yeah, I've
No
read some
idea
stuff
who
about
that
him.
is.
He's
I do
shooting on
like
some
him.
boards.
I have no. You like him, Austin?
The most of the Steelers mocks that I've sent you have had Bernardo Green.
Tell me
or
about him.
He's good.
Oh,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
No.
Like
He's
five-
a little
Josh,
undersized. He's a
Yeah, I was
5'11"
just-
corner.
5'11".
Greg, Greg, stop.
don't help him.
Austin, tell me what you like about Renardo Green.
I was about to say before Greg
Yeah,
interrupted.
what? That he's a 5'11
Yeah,
corner.
actually.
My bad.
Douchebag.
No, it's just a physical. Like when it comes to the corners, we want a physical freaking cornerback. And from Renardo Green, it was either him. It was like I like him and Kyrie Jackson are like my 2 corners
okay.
from out of Oregon that have that physical mentality of fuck off and give me the ball, and I'm gonna beat your ass until I get it. That's what I feel with these guys. They're
Undersized and feisty. I like it.
All right, Josh, take back over.
Yeah, Renardo Green absolutely put both LSU wide receivers on lock by himself. That's why I like him.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. This is the least production for a draft I've ever done, and it's because we don't have to be on camera the night of the draft,
That's true.
and life has sucked,
Yeah.
and I am ready to just go to the draft. So, notably, though, I do wish that I would have put TJ Tampa in there somewhere. So, shout out to you, Austin. I do like TJ Tampa a lot. But, Josh, back to you.
Yeah, so that's my I have that same hot take about an edge player we'll get to later.
Nice.
Because I do legitimately I get it. You know what I mean? Frank Crum, who'd he block? Nobody, right? You could say that.
All respect to Frank Crum.
Yeah. You could
I'll
say
kiss
that.
him on the mouth.
Sure.
You only play who's on your schedule.
He
Just
also
saying.
he also blocked Newton 2 years ago. So.
Yeah.
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 Sick.
Frank, there's tape of out there of Frank Crum playing against elite level talent. Anyway, that's what I look at as a good indicator. Can you handle an NFL level guy, right? And especially at cornerback, which is a position where it's like feast or famine, right? Like if you intercept the ball and people see you, you're fucking great. But the second you get beat on a play, you're fucking dog shit again, right? The best cornerback is when you don't fucking notice, right? Kool-Aid to me has a little bit of that swag. That's why I like him. I like that he's
He's
a little
splash.
nasty.
Mhm.
Yep.
He is.
I will
Agreed.
say though that Terrion Arnold is the safer of the two picks. That guy is smooth. He does
Yes.
not like he's on everyone's pocket the entire time.
Yes.
And then his ability to leave his receiver right when the ball's in the air to come make a hit or a catch or a play is unbelievable. Like either one of the Alabama corners is like, go for it. Sure. Why not? You know what I mean?
Agreed.
That's my feeling about it.
It's a great take. I think the notable thing here too, Josh, if I can call out,
Yeah.
Austin, and Greg, all have the same exact corners 1 through 4.
Yeah.
We all have very different corners at 5,
Yeah.
which I think is interesting. Not anything really to call out because Josh, in your defense, I love Ennis Rakestraw.
Yes.
I just he's
I
a
do too.
guy that is he's a guy. I think we all have mocked him eventually at some point to the Steelers
Mhm.
late. We like Rakestraw. For me, Kamari Lassiter goes back into that Georgia pedigree.
Sure.
I love the guys he played. I think he's a pro ready. I'm gonna say it wrong probably. Sane Strill.
Saint Strill.
Sane Strill. Thank you.
Mm.
I think to Greg's point, he's a prototypical corner. I genuinely think he's good, but he's probably the weakest out of the 3 that I have there, in my opinion, Greg, because TJ Tampa is a name, Austin, too, that I love. He's a very popular name. He's a guy that can plug into almost any system. All that being said, Ennis Rextra, I do think Josh is in contention to be at all of our 5 spot.
Sure.
All respect to the fact that I didn't even know Bernardo Green was a human on this planet. But I think that we all have a good inkling there. My question to you, Josh, is why no Nate Wiggins?
Yeah, so Nate Wiggins didn't play anybody. That's what it boils down to for me.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, my question would be, did Clemson play Florida State this year?
No.
Yeah, they did.
When they've played Florida?
No, they played Florida State
ACC.
because FSU beat them 17-14, I think.
All right, let me
I
look
think
this
because I
up.
remember watching that game.
I mean,
Clemson
the
versus
score that Greg said ain't too good for
Florida
Derek State.
It's either 24-21 or 17-14. It was a close game. I
Because
just
that would
remember
be
that game.
Johnny and
I got a
Keon.
31-24 score. Florida State wins.
Okay.
So Wiggins played 2 top 60 players
Sure.
in Johnny and Keon.
Let's see
Yeah.
what.
In fairness,
I hate
Nate
that ESPN
Wiggins
just-
has been one of your guys all season. In
Yeah,
fairness, so.
I had him as my number 1 corner. I think going into all of it, when you look at everything, he is he's fast, he's skinny. Quignon has a little bit of traits I like.
good.
Terrion, to Josh's point, stays in the hip. Kool-Aid splash play. Wiggins to me is going to be a great corner. I just have him at the 4 spot now, but all 4 of them, I think we can all agree, go first round, which is cool.
Yeah,
I would actually.
hang on real quick. So Jordan Travis threw for 289 yards, 2 TDs. Johnny Wilson had 94 yards on 5 catches. Coleman had 5 catches, 86 yards, 2 tutties. And then Trey Benson had 3 catches for 50 fucking yards. And then their 4th fucking receiver had 3 catches for 26 yards. Everybody ate on that
Yep.
secondary. All right,
Good
Greg,
news
what was your
is
thought?
Nate Wiggins missed that game.
I wanted
Did he
to
really?
get this thought in.
I have no idea. I hope so.
Okay.
I wanted to get this thought in real quick because me, Austin, and Deke, we actually don't have Cooper DeJean as a corner. We have him as our safety, obviously. But I am curious, just because, and I'll even add into this, if we were considering Cooper DeJean as a corner, where would he fit on our list?
He would probably be, for me, he would be probably 3rd ahead of
3rd?
Yeah.
Okay, Deke, what about you?
5. I
5?
think Cooper DeJean, in the words of Dre, Dre believes that Cooper DeJean has better ball skills than Minka Fitzpatrick. And I can't stress enough
Oh
that
my
Minka
God.
Fitzpatrick's core element at Alabama was his ball skills, which is why Cooper's probably moving to safety. I don't discredit that he has them, but it's crazy. Cooper is Cooper at safety and Cooper at punt kick return you cannot equate into the corner position. Cooper's fast, Cooper's fun, Cooper's coming off the same injury that Zach Frazier's coming off, so I'm not going to slip him high if we're going to have that discussion. He is better at corner than Kamari Lassiter, so I'll give him that. I like Wiggins better, Kool-Aid with the splash plays, Terrion in the pocket, Quignon with the traits. He would be at my 5 spot.
Okay. I'm kind of in agreement with Austin. He would be my 3rd. Like, I like Terrion Otto more. I think Quinny Mitchell has better physical traits, and it's close with him and Wiggins, but I just think DeJean would probably be my 3rd corner too, actually.
Wiggins did play, and his stat line is gross. It's just zeros.
Yeah, no catches, no yards. Yeah, he's a thug.
He's
baby. Yeah. Take back over, Josh.
Okay. Does anyone feel passionately about linebacker?
Honestly,
Okay.
the main reason, yes, is because I'm the only one without that top guy, and they love him, Josh.
Okay, well, let's hear why they love Edrin Cooper.
Okay, go ahead.
This is a very weak linebacker class in general. I think, first off, I think Peyton Wilson is a really good player, but he just doesn't have those, I don't think he has the full athletic traits that you want in a middle linebacker in today's NFL. I look at Edrin Cooper. He is not a prototypical inside linebacker necessarily. He kind of fits that mold of that safety inside linebacker hybrid almost, but he needs more seasoning. I look at a long-term potential for the linebackers in this case, and I think Cooper's the guy that could potentially be a better play moving forward in today's NFL. He's got the speed. He's got the lateral movements. He's able to attack running backs downhill and stuff, which is what you want from a linebacker. You want someone who's not going to be afraid to go after and try to hit the hole in that sense. And he can also drop back into coverage, which is exactly what you're looking for in today's NFL. I think he has those traits that you're looking for, but he's just not polished enough to be able to be considered like a elite level talent in this class. And none of these linebackers are. Every single one of them needs some sort of seasoning to a degree. So that's why I lean towards him as my number 1 linebacker in this class.
Austin?
Yeah, I got I'm not Greg. I'm not putting season on him. I'm not cooking Louisiana style, but I'll tell you exactly. For me,
I do love Louisiana style.
To me, Cooper, I'll just put it short and sweet, it's the athleticism. Now, you could argue that it's great, but who also had that athleticism? Isaiah Simmons. Didn't turn out very well. I kind of, maybe it's the Texas A&M bias in me and I hate that I have a Texas A&M bias when Dan Moore was there because he sucks. But for me, the thought of, because I had him mocked in one of my really early Steeler mocks as the 2nd round pick 51. That thought of just having him and Patrick Queen together as the inside, that's just a freaking athletic wet dream for me, honestly, to have those two combined for whatever. I like what Greg said. He really does play the runner downhill. He'll get in your face. He'll fuck you up. That's kind of what I want. But I understand there are some concerns with it. It's not a very great linebacker class, but for me, I just like the athleticism that he brings.
Derek, why don't you like him?
It's not that I don't like him. It's that this is a really weak linebacker class.
I agree.
For sure.
So when you look at weak classes, I look for a few things. This is, there's a couple. This is a deep, let's say, deep quarterback, deep wide receiver things. What do I look for in a terrible running back class, as we just described? For running backs, I love Jalen Wright because he is the prototypical. Why do I love Cedric Gray? He is a productive linebacker. Cedric Gray, I think it was over 100 tackles. Dude is productivity out the ass. Cooper has the athletic traits, has all these things to be it. Jeremiah Trotter in coverage. I love Jalen Ford. Another big name, Peyton Wilson, who we all have in some variation except for you, Josh, which is totally fine. Peyton Wilson, look in there. Cedric Gray, for me, produces. That is what your linebackers have to do to succeed. He is the most productive linebacker in this class. He is by far in the same exact grade as all of these guys. So when it comes down to why I don't like Edrin Cooper, it's going to be the similar thing as what I said about Rook. It's not that I don't love Cooper. It's that I think Cedric Gray is today's NFL linebacker on a much larger scale, and he will find a ton of success. I have Cooper at my 2. I have
Yeah.
Trotter at my 3. Jalen Ford is a guy I feel very strongly about. Greg has him at the 5. He's not in your 2 thing out of Texas. But for me, Cedric Gray produces, and that alone is the Jalen Wright tangible thing for the position I look for.
Also, wouldn't hate a late round selection of Tommy Eichenberg. Ohio State guy. I know that
I'm gonna fucking kill you. That's that, Greg. Greg,
What?
who said his name first?
You.
Who has took?
You've been on the Tommy Eichenberg bandwagon. for as
Austin,
long
we're
as I can remember.
fighting. I'm coming home. I fly home tomorrow.
It's on site.
I'm my address boy. Let's go.
I'm
Backyard
gonna.
brawl.
Josh, I have talked
Yeah.
about Tommy Eichenberg.
Yeah.
I have brought him up. He's not a top 5 linebacker. I have mentioned him in every conversation about the Pittsburgh Steelers linebackers score. And for Austin in his Miller Lights,
Ad
and his-
nauseum, actually.
come in here.
Yeah.
How?
I get you. I feel it. I feel the
How
heat.
dare you
Who
take
told you-
my guy?
Who told you about Tommy Eichenberg?
Honestly, it
Don't
was-
say tape. Oh, we will do
Don't
this
say
if you
Dre. Don't say
tape.
Dre either.
If it's honest, I didn't hear it from anybody. I just kind of started doing mock drafts, and he fell late, and that's where I kind of started looking at him. So I'm sorry I
Josh-
didn't listen to you.
Nope,
man.
Josh, take back over.
Hey.
Here come the receipts.
Okay, great. Derek, when you're done doing that, I have a guy I want you to Google, and it's just a me and you joke. These 2
Oh, okay.
nerds don't need to see it.
Well, hold on. This is better. What's up?
Okay. Just Google Zach Hines.
What does that mean?
And just go look at that profile picture, and it'll make you so happy.
EINS?
Yeah.
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 He's my 5th tight end. Just
Yeah,
because I just scrolled down and looked at that picture, I was like, this guy can play. He can play for me,
I've
and then
never
he'll sell
seen
me insurance on
someone-
the weekends.
I've never seen someone who should have an Australian accent more.
Crikey.
Zach EHEINS?
He's the best. He's the best. Tell me why Jared Verse isn't a bust.
Tell somebody to answer you.
For all talent, I would say.
Just looking at these two, like they're
Ooh.
both like, don't call on me, but now they're like starting to get a little pumped up about, yeah, go ahead, call on me. All right.
I don't know. My edge rushers have switched for every single mock draft that I did. I started out with Verse. I went to Turner. Latest one I had was Latu. It's weird, man. Like I wanted Turner to be higher, but for some reason I keep getting that feeling that he might be Trayvon Walker or a Tyree Wilson, more athletic but not really showing it type of player. Verse to me just fits in so many systems. He can learn so many ways, and it's just a freaking demon, honestly, for his tackling. I love.
Jared Verse kind of fits the Olu Fashanu like description I gave earlier, where it was like he could have come out, probably
Wow.
been a first round pick, came back, didn't necessarily wow when he was there. So maybe there's a little bit of like, what's wrong with him? Is he not as good as we thought he was?
Correct.
And the strange thing is too, this is not a good edge class either. It's there's some okay talent, but it's not like there's not a surefire guy. Like I guarantee you, there's probably maybe I would bet you a quarter of the league probably thinks Chop Robinson's the best defensive end of this class.
I have seen some people say that Chop was
No, let's shut the chop.
If you're
Who?
looking at, because I'm just saying, like, if you're looking at this defensive end class in general, like, there's not an elite level talent here. So you're looking at traits and you're trying to figure out, okay, what is something that I can either project or something that I can coach
Two
up to?
fucking battles at the same time.
Chop's got that like 4-3 defensive end style that I feel like most defensive line coaches or
Greg,
defensive.
he didn't do shit in college.
I understand that, but you're
Chop
looking
didn't
at
do
the
shit.
athletic. He looked at the measurables, and that's what I'm saying. But if I'm getting
You
back to
have your
Verse,
fourth defensive end as the best guy in the class.
no, I'm
is the
saying
conversation we're
I'm
about to
not
have.
saying that. I'm saying that I guarantee you that a quarter of the league probably thinks Robinson is the best defensive end in this class. I bet you.
Well, yeah, there is a
Darius?
Robinson that is the best defensive end in this class. He
Yeah.
did not play at
I
Penn
was waiting
State.
for someone to do that. I
No,
was waiting
no,
for
no,
someone
no.
to do that.
Chop has everything you want except for the resume.
Yeah.
No one has him as the top D in this class. Find it for me because I'm challenging you guys here. Dallas Turner is the Vic Beasley-esque speed guy of this class who has question marks across the board.
Ooh.
Laiatu Latu is the best defensive player in this class, but injuries
neck
and
injury,
age
neck
are
issue, yeah.
huge. Without neck injuries, he is by far talked about with the quarterbacks in this class. Jared Verse, a productivity guy who people have questioned about the next level, but produced. And Darius Robinson is a guy that is just a dog. I'm not
Mhm.
saying that I hate Chop. I have Chop at 4. You would
I
be
have him at 4.
hard pressed for me to have anybody on the planet tell me Chop is higher than any of the guys I have ahead of him.
I'm just saying that if you're looking at this edge class in general, there's not a guy that like sticks out as the best. That's all I'm saying. So therefore, like I bet you the opinions are going to be mixed because you're basing it off of okay, is it production or is it the measurables and what I can get from him?
25% of the league has Chop as the best DE.
That's what you said.
The defensive end in this class, I would bet you that's probably the case.
25%. 32
Yes.
divided by 4 is a number
8.
I don't care about right now.
8.
You think 8 teams look at this class and go, I mean, Austin, am I fucking crazy for thinking this way?
I don't.
Tommy
think
Eichenberg stealing son of a bitch.
I don't think it's 8. I would say probably maybe. I would say maybe 4. I'd cut that in half. I would say probably maybe 4 teams
I love it.
would have him. Particularly, I mean, I know I watch him all the time. I'm subscribed to him. Goat House. Primarily thinks that Chop could have the best overall ceiling of this entire edge class. I've looked at.
That's what I'm referring to, Austin. He has the athletic traits that I feel like most front offices and scouting departments are like drooling over to that, but he just didn't produce.
I
So
mean,
that's why I'm like, that's why I'm leaning towards this because there's not a defensive end or edge rusher in this class that is like that just dominated. There just isn't.
I would say
So-
if you would cut the injury out of Latu, you could certainly make an argument that Latu would be the guy. Again, I've seen. Again, there's not a singular guy because I range from it week to week. Like I said, first week it
fair,
was Verse.
completely fair.
It was Turner. Now it's Latu, and what I have Verse at the head of the class now. You have Chop. You have guys like Darius Robinson. Like they're all coming into play. Hello, Braylon Trice I'm high on out of Washington. I still think that kid is going to be good. Like,
That's fair. That's fair. I'll give you that.
there are multiple ways that this defensive edge class can go. But yeah, for me, I watch a lot of his content for that. I know that Goat House is real high on Chop.
He
So
said
I
that he
kinda-
was Micah Parsons Jr., and that's fucking ridiculous.
No, that's some bullshit. That is some bullshit and a half.
All right.
I've ever seen it.
Great.
What a man.
We're done with all that silliness.
Thank God.
Yeah, we're just gonna do a mock draft now.
Wait, what happened to safeties?
Oh, do you want to talk about safeties?
No.
I was gonna like Cooper DeJean and then a bunch
Well,
of
neither of them
no-names.
have Cameron Kinchin in their top, which
Neither
it's
do
confusing.
I. I don't know who the hell that is.
okay, then we go to the mock.
Okay, great.
Safety for Miami, yeah.
You didn't have Easton Gibbs in your mock. It's fine.
Easton Gibbs is a baseball bat company. Grow the fuck
Yeah.
up.
Came down in a bubble.
Do the mock.
Austin, pick a number 1 through 5.
Uh,
Shut up. Number. Pick one.
Austin, pick
I said 4.
4. Okay, 4. Greg.
2.
Derek.
one.
All right, great. So we're gonna go Austin, Greg, Derek, me as far as the mock draft goes. And I have it up on screen. You guys just tell me who you want me to pick for these teams, kind of thing. Sound good?
Sound good?
Awesome. All right. Austin, you have the first pick. You're the Chicago Bears. Congratulations.
What if I pulled like a U thing and I selected like you did with Zach Wilson and the first pick last time? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pick Caleb Williams here for pick 1. It was a quarterback class. I remember that you picked like the third string guy as like the number 1 quarterback, and you threw the whole draft off. I don't know if that was last
Did
year.
I take Trey Lance? That I might have taken Trey
No,
Lance.
there was another like wild one you
Okay.
did. I'm trying to remember.
Regardless,
too,
it's
yeah.
Caleb Williams. Like, I mean, they're setting them up to succeed. They're obviously, I don't think they're taking anybody else. I mean, they traded Justin Fields to us. It's Caleb Williams.
He's a bust. Greg, you have the Washington Commanders.
First of all, I love the story that came out this week about the Commanders bringing in all those quarterbacks at once just to see like them interact. I just love the juiciness for that and all the dumb shit that can occur
Trash
from
ass
that. But
franchise.
just saying. But for me, I'm going with the defending Heisman Trophy winner. Give me Jaden Daniels on this one.
Yeah, I had Jaden Daniels as going 1. I think he's the better of the 2 quarterbacks. But Derek, you have the New England Patriots.
That I do, Josh. Looking at hype, looking at college productivity, and looking at the pedigree of the university they went to, the New England Patriots will absolutely on draft night select J.J. McCarthy, Michigan.
I wanted to do it in my mock, but I held back on it.
Guess what, Josh?
I hate
The
J.J.
the
McCarthy.
bet gets better and better because Quinn Ewers just has to go higher than Drake May.
Yeah. Yep. I have the Cardinals at 4. This is probably the easiest pick on the board. Marvin Harrison Jr. Duh.
Gasp.
I know. Austin, you have the Chargers at 5.
Yeah, normally when we talk about this spot, it's always the trade down selection. It's always, I would say it would be this one or number 3 with New England maybe. But this is always the spot where Minnesota trades up and the Chargers take picks 11 and 23. But for me, if we're not doing that, obviously, let's talk about what we did earlier with receivers. I would absolutely 100% select Malik Neighbors here. You got rid of Keenan Allen. You got rid of Mike Williams. There have been some arguments of which is higher on Harbaugh's menu. Is it wide receiver or is it offensive tackle? In that case, it would be the argument of Malik Neighbors versus Joe Alt.
Mhm.
You got to go Neighbors here. I'm sorry.
Okay. Greg, you have the Giants.
The last time
Remember
the
when
New York
Greg
Giants
said,
had...
or when Austin was talking about how cool Rome Odunze was?
Yeah.
And then he took Malik Neighbors.
And he took Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
We just talked about this.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
Greg. I remember that too.
The last time the New York Giants had the 6th overall draft pick,
I love
I was
you,
watching the draft in my parents' household with the ranking himself. And we had the same reaction when one Daniel Jones was drafted by the New York Giants of pure laughter and
Yep.
amazement of degree. 5 years later, they correct that wrong and they take the quarterback of their future, Drake May.
Oh.
Ooh,
Huh.
I like it. It's spicy.
A lot of people have JJ there right now in their current mocks, Josh. So you're aware, and the switch of May and JJ is something that is unique to this show, but something I believe in. I think Drake May played against no one and is a fucking fraud.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. You have your tits.
Yeah, it's tough here because it's between Fashanu for Olu and Joe Alt. Very notably, everybody in this town wants Brock Bowers, which, to be fair, would not be bad. But to Austin's point earlier, you have a guy like Joe Alt who you don't need to coach, and a guy like Olu that you probably need to coach a little bit. Give me Joe Alt because he's playing against one of the greatest guards we will ever see play in Peter Skoronski. Will Levis has a left side, and DeAndre Hopkins will now catch a lot of balls with Calvin Ridley.
Okay. I have the Falcons. I think I have them going edge here. I have them taking Darius Robinson.
Okay, the first edge off the board.
Ooh,
Well
okay,
done.
okay.
Well done.
Oh man. All right. Which brings to me, correct? If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
It is you
Yes, you are
with
correct.
the Bears again.
You are not
Ah,
mistaken.
Jesus. So I've fought against this with myself for so long because I made the argument of I believe I texted the group and I was like, what would happen if they just
Mhm.
traded and they got, when they had Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and I think in that argument I said that they got Marvin Harrison because they traded back up. Man, it's great. That's a lot of mouths to feed, and you could argue it's the age of Keenan Allen, but I'm gonna go defense here. I firmly believe that you need a complementary edge to Montez Sweat in order for that pass rush to even remotely succeed. And for me, I know I have the number one edge right now is Jared Verse. However, the upside, I will be going Latu here, Chicago Bears. Mix it up a little bit.
Greg, you have the Jets.
This one's easy for me. Let's make sure that Aaron Rodgers does not ruin and tear his Achilles again in the first 4 plays of the season. Give me Olu Fashunu.
Yep.
Even with Rome there.
And Font. And Mekhi Becton and their other tackles. I don't hate it.
Even with all those guys, they just need every protection possible for Aaron Rodgers. Protect the golden goose.
Derek, you have the Vikings.
Yeah, I think there's a very realistic situation in which the Vikings sit back and they go, you know what? We have Sam Darnold. I have in my mock right now Bo Nix going to the Vikings because I believe that they would do that. In this situation, however, I do believe there is turmoil amongst a couple different situations, all of which are good to have. And next year's class, to Josh's and mine point, is littered with quarterbacks. That being said, the Bears are about to get Caleb Williams. The Lions are really good. The Packers are really good. Why stretch yourself and take a Bo Nix here when you are sitting here with so much talent? In the off chance that we do walk away from this situation thinking to ourselves, well, we have an abundance at the position. We're paying Justin Jefferson. Give me Brock Bowers.
Ooh.
Him and TJ Hawkinson together would be fun.
That would be fun.
Yes, it would. Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, Brock Bowers, TJ Hawkinson.
Would it be the best receiving core, tight ends included, that Dalton's ever had?
It would be the number one used franchise in Madden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
And it also
Sam
would be
Darnold
specific for Sam
should
Darnold.
put up some numbers.
That would be an offense that you know what? They might sign Kirk Cousins next year, guys. That's such a good offense that they might get a free agent like Kirk Cousins.
Perhaps. I mean,
Maybe.
for all you know, anything's possible in the NFL.
If only they
Or
would have
Dak
kept
Prescott.
Dad. Actually, the timing of that is that they'll get Aaron Rodgers next year if he is truly on the Brett Favre path. That's where he's going. So
That's a fair point.
I
Fair
do
point.
calling the shot right now. Dak Prescott is a Viking next year.
That's a hot take. I love it.
Ooh,
Ah.
Herschel Walker trade
Great.
2.0. I would not hate that.
I hate it for Dak.
The only person in the whole room that's defending Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I'm just like,
I hate it for the Vikings. I don't think it's too hard. I hope Dak has fun.
I hope Dak likes the cold.
They have a dome.
I had so I have the Broncos going quarterback, and I had JJ McCarthy in my draft because if there was ever a Broncos quarterback, it's fucking JJ McCarthy.
Shout out to real quick.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kurt Budosh. Kurt has been a long fan of Thoughts on the Bench. Has jumped in all the draft stuff. He's an Atlanta Falcon fan. Josh took Darius Robinson, and the message I got was, "God damn it, Josh."
Sorry.
Shout out to Kurt. Kurt, good friend from high school. I
Sorry,
love
dude.
the guy. Has followed Thoughts on the Bench to the ends of the earth. God damn it, Josh.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. the Broncos are still going to take a quarterback here. I think this guy has the highest ceiling in the class. He's my favorite quarterback of the class. Go Jordan Travis.
Oh, jeez.
Whoa. Okay. Okay.
On one leg.
They heal legs all the time. Austin,
Shout out Stephen Hawkins.
Yeah. You have the Raiders.
I do. This is also a spot that, as we touched about, a lot of people are trying to go quarterback here. I just don't see it.
The rumor is that Jaden Daniels really wants to be a Raider. It's
There is a
interesting.
rumor that the Raiders, Antonio Pierce was given full ride to trade up for particularly Jaden Daniels if everything falls into place. I normally have two positions here. I have offensive tackle and I have corner. However, you have a guy like Rome Odunze still on the board here. Have Devontae Adams, who may or may not be happy in this organization. And the next guy up, no disrespect to him, is Jacoby Myers. Give me Rome Odunze here in this Vegas offense.
Sure. Why not? He can run over the balls that Gardner overthrows.
Jordan Travis picking ass, shut up.
That little ass boy.
Imagine the
I
disrespect
don't
of
know
Trey
why.
Tucker.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know why I love that, but just Roma Dunze just feels like a Raider.
Because he
for
would
some
look
reason.
even faster in black and gray. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yes, black and
DUI
silver.
incoming.
You show some
Sorry,
respect.
black and
God
silver.
damn it.
He would look so sick in that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Austin just cursed him, so.
Yeah. Greg, you have the Saints.
Oh,
at
thank God I
14.
don't have the Saints.
Yeah.
This team for the longest time, I feel like they just need to like pile on the offensive line in the worst way. And I'm actually gonna go the route of a guy that can fill multiple areas depending on what they're looking for. Give me Troy Fontenot.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's the correct pick.
Okay.
It should have been Frank Crum, but if you don't know who Frank Crum is and you haven't watched tape, then that's the correct
Yeah,
pick.
I have not watched tape, so I do not know.
I
Josh?
had them taking J.C. Latham.
Great take.
Yeah,
So-
we didn't get into that real quick. Like, why do you think J.C. Latham's a guard? Just out of curiosity.
Because he's not good at playing tackle.
Me either, but I'm not a guard.
He also he flipped between both positions. He was much stronger as a guard. Like, if you watch him, he's a much better guard than he is a tackle. He's not good one-on-one.
Yeah, Greg, watch tape, idiot.
Okay, my bad.
That's it. Wednesday night, all we're doing is getting drunk, talking about my issues because I need to talk to you guys about some stuff because
We're gonna-
my therapist
we're gonna
canceled this
watch
week
tape.
and watch tape. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and watch tape. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, it's gonna be a late
Call
night
him.
because Josh is getting until 12:30.
You don't get into
I
12:30.
know. I have a layover.
Change that.
I can't.
You could drive and get there faster.
Maybe.
Who's picking you up? I'm a fuck.
I
Yeah.
am. I am.
I gotta find out when I get in.
Yeah, you have the Colts, by the way.
Yeah. That's nice. So the Colts, I was really hoping for some weird reason Rome was falling here. He is not. There's a ton of talent here, but really, let's go with, I know that I have Quinyon Mitchell as my top, but the Colts need to hit. That is Terrion Arnold. Terrion Arnold is a pro-ready corner. He may not be as good as what Quinyon Mitchell could be, but Terrion Arnold is a pocket, and you're looking at a division that now has DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, that has Stephon Diggs tank down Nico Collins, that has Gabe Davis. You're looking at a division with some guys. So
This is my new thing that I'm going to will into the universe. Is Michael Penix Jr. is a Seattle Seahawk. So
I was wondering.
I'm all
if
for you
gave
trying to do
yourself
it,
that
bud.
on purpose.
no, I didn't. I just gave myself the fourth, not really knowing how the numbers worked out. I think that all checks out. I don't know math. If
Can I ask a
anything, I would
question?
have set it up to take the Jags because big cat facts.
So left-handed and multiple knee
I
injuries.
don't give a fuck. I
Okay.
fucking
All right.
love
Cool.
him. I love watching that guy play football. That's
Moving on.
It's that simple.
You love the arrow thing, I bet, for the touchdown celebration. That gets you.
Dude, I loved him in Indiana.
He did the same thing. He still did the arrow.
It
in
was
Josh.
so
Indiana.
fu- What?
Josh.
What? Did I fuck up?
Might as well have drafted me. I'm kidding, but Latu or Turner have to be the right pick, or I'll be Giant said. Kurt believes that you could have drafted him for the Falcons and it would have the same impact.
As Darius Robinson.
He clearly has not watched tape, apparently. So fuck him.
You, Greg.
Oh, I hope
Okay,
that happens
can
in
we
real
all
life.
can we all have an agreement to watch tape next year?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fine.
Because I feel like, respectfully, I watch a ton of random shit, and Josh definitely watches tape.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I watch a ton of tape, but even watching a little amount of
Oh,
tape,
yeah,
guys.
just put their name highlights
YouTube,
it.
YouTube.
And it's right. They even put a little arrow above them before the play starts. It's great, man.
Dude.
You're gonna love it.
They play music. It's crazy.
It's always like Travis
Next year.
Scott, man. It's fucking great. You're gonna love it.
Next
Oh my
year,
God.
and Wednesday of which
Yeah.
sucks. It's at midnight. All right, we're staying up till 3. We are
Yep.
collectively watching tape because I don't trust either of you.
On
Josh
Zach
watched-
Hines.
Josh watched tape.
Yeah.
Let that soak in.
Fair.
It's fine.
All right.
Fair.
Watch the
Moving
games.
on.
That was always my big argument. Always has been. Watch the games.
That's why Josh loved Sweat,
Yep.
even though he couldn't think of his name for 4 episodes. Thoughts on the bench.
Nope.
But
Couldn't
he
think
said
of
the
it.
big guy out of Texas. I know him, but I can't think of him.
Big guy.
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right, I'm up for the Jaguars here.
Austin just moves right on. Yeah. Okay.
I'm
Great.
Posted.
Love it.
Posted. All right, so the appeal of Turner and Verse here is incredible. However, they desperately need a corner in this room. Give me Quinyon Mitchell to the Jaguars here.
Sure. That'll be another highly touted draft pick that ends up just being
Fucking
okay.
shit on my picks, Josh. Every single one.
No, I'm just sitting on the Jaguars, but they ruined Trevor Lawrence, and I love Trevor Lawrence, and I'm mad about it.
They got him, Gabe Davis, Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk. They did ruin Christian Kirk. It's unfair. Okay. Who has the Bengals? Greg.
This one's easy to me. The Bengals and Alabama offensive linemen just go hand in hand perfectly, in my opinion. J.C. Latham right here. They could always use some
Jonah
sort of
Williams,
offensive line
J.C.
protection for their
Latham.
quarterback. It just always works out somehow.
Derek, you have the LA Rams at 19.
I love it. The Rams haven't had a first-round pick since
Ever.
Vietnam.
For-
I'm a
This is awesome to see. Yeah.
Since they started construction on 28. That was a good one.
This is crazy. So
It's still going
corner-
on, by the way. You're not in for new. It's still going on.
Corner's a big thing here. Line's a big thing. There's a ton of what could happen with the Rams. Luckily, the best edge in the class is still available. The Rams lost Aaron Donald to retirement. They do have a couple pieces on that line. Notably, I can't think of his name right now. There was a guy that drafted in the 3rd round who was one of the Rookie of the
Yeah,
Year
that's-
candidates.
Puka Nakua?
No,
his
defensive.
his
He had a
starts-
great draft. He was a 3rd-round pick. He's I don't know if it's a tackle or edge, but he's
starts with a K. His name starts
yes.
with
He's a guy that's really good. But give me Dallas Turner, speed,
Sure.
LA, the best edge in the class potentially. I think that Latu falls here, but if Latu if this situation happens, they would be so happy with Dallas Turner.
I have the Steelers. Somehow I keep getting all of everyone's favorite teams.
It works out really well because of the hat that you're rocking. Yeah. Go
It's true.
figure.
I'm gonna do Cedric Van Pern.
Okay,
We need a center.
shouldn't have let Josh get
He-
the Steelers.
He was my favorite center. I'm fucking up the Falcons. I'm fucking up the Seahawks. I'm fucking up
Kurt.
the Steelers.
Kurt, we hate him too.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get it. I get it.
Ah.
I hope so many people are watching this and just want to absolutely wreck Josh right now.
Any Dallas Cowboys fans in the room? You guys are fucked. Okay.
Might as well
That's-
just
I'm
taken.
looking
Yeah,
forward to
I mean, could have taken a kicker and would
Yeah.
have had the same impact.
True. Austin, you've got the Dolphins at 21.
Yeah, Dolphins. There are 2 glaring needs, in my honest opinion. One is the offensive line per se. However, for me, if you watched last year, what a big thing with their problem was is that all of their defensive edge players got hurt. Almost every single one of them got freaking hurt.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I had them first ranked on my edge. and I will be taking Jared Verse here for the Miami Dolphins.
I really like that pick, Austin.
They will like that personality as well.
Doesn't have to drive far, so they don't have to reimburse his mileage.
That's true too. Greg, you have the Eagles at 22.
This one's easy. This one's easy for me. Everywhere that team got cooked last year was in that secondary. You just
Yep.
need skill, you need playmakers, you just need guys that you can rely on in that secondary. And I think this is a favorite pick of mine. Give me Cooper DeJean for the Philadelphia Eagles.
My big issue
Oh.
with Cooper here, Greg, to be transparent, is that if guys like Nate Wiggins, Kool-Aid McKinstry,
Are there?
you know, some of these other guys fall, I'm curious, is all I'll say.
I'm
Because,
fascinated to see what position he gets drafted as.
well, I think I agree. The conversation comes down to if you have two positions, do you have one? Respectfully on defense. But you look at, you know, CJ Gardner-Johnson's there, Reed Blankenship's there, Darius Slade, James Bradbury. The secondary isn't bad. It's just not good. Right?
Is it
It's not-
possible? Is it possible part of the reason that they got hurt so much in the secondary is because the pass rush wasn't as effective as it usually is?
Maybe. I mean, you have Keely Ringo out of Georgia. You got Josh Jobe, who I loved, out of, I believe, Iowa. You have
Josh
Avonte
Roby, he was a Bama guy.
Bama. Thank you.
Yeah.
The pass rush, yeah. So the nose tackle, Jordan Davis, defensive end on the right side, Jalen Carter. The linebackers are a little suspect. Devin White's there now. Nakobe Dean. I'm very much looking at it. I'm not just rattling this off.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Philadelphia
like,
is a fucking
But it is
cesspool.
interesting. Like,
But-
it's one of those things that, like, the pass rush just was not as because I think I remember too, like in one of the last games they played and stuff, like they looked at the sack numbers and they were just like significantly lower than they were last year and stuff. And if you remember,
Totally fine.
when they won the Super Bowl, they had two deep on their defensive line. Too, so-
May I also?
Go ahead.
They need a little. They don't need it. Line help.
Hmm.
Like Cam Jurgens is now their new center. Landon Dickerson is their All-Pro guard. Mawaga.
Jordan like Moatu, I think.
Malat. There's a lot of vowels in there.
Yeah.
So,
But
anyways,
Johnson's
I
still there,
don't.
yeah.
Cooper's the sexy pick. I just am curious. Sorry, Josh.
Yeah, you're good. You have the Vikings.
Amazing. So the Vikings already took off the heels of my giant brain, Brock Bowers. I mean, what the fuck are you guys letting me do? I already brought it up. I mean, give me Bo Nix, my guy. Like,
There you go.
we didn't stress, we didn't panic. We walk away with Bo fucking Nix and Brock Bowers. Here's the situation about the Vikings. You could go defensive tackle. I don't really believe, and you could tell me if I'm wrong, Johnny Newton, Byron Murphy, they're good. Are they first-round talent?
Perhaps.
Yes, like
Perhaps.
maybe. But I think Bo Nix, what he does is he gives you instant competition, and at the same time, if you run the whole season and start Sam Darnold, you either A, have a top draft pick where you take a quarterback, or B, you then switch to Bo Nix and trade out of the first round next year for an absolute package deal because you're terrible. But you already got Brock Bowers, so.
Yep. And the only concern on this one, obviously, as Dre likes to say, he doesn't have that dog in him because he's married.
Yeah, no, Dre said he's married, so he doesn't have that dog in him. And I said, Dre, you have a weird confliction with marriage you should talk to your therapist about.
Yeah, that's true. I have Cowboys.
Love you, Dre.
Offensive tackles their top need, but they kind of need line help altogether. If Jackson Powers Johnson's sitting there, they're going to take him.
Wow.
I don't hate that.
it.
I don't hate that at all.
With Mims and Fuaga is interesting, and Barton, but I don't hate it, Josh.
Well, I believe they're both off the board.
Waga is still there.
Fuaga's there.
well, I don't
Mims
like
is there,
Fuaga. I
Graham
think-
Barton's there.
Sorry, I think Fuaga's a guard. I don't think he's a tackle.
Mm.
All his best tape is he has someone helping him. Okay, not good.
Interesting. Okay. I can dig it.
Austin, Green
No,
Bay.
you can't. Shut up. No, you cannot. You cannot dig it.
I can.
That's going to make it real awkward for this next pick for me because I am going to take Fuaga here for the Packers. The Packers don't need many needs. You could argue that they need linebacker, but you're not taking one in the first round, in my honest opinion. So that leads to offensive tackle. You could maybe argue safety, but again, you're not taking one there. For me, Fuaga is the best on the board. I don't know if he can 100% fill in that David Bakhtiari role, but he can certainly try.
One of these years, they have to draft an offensive player in the first round, right? Just saying.
Nope.
Skills player.
No, they don't. No, you didn't. No, I didn't. Greg, you have the Buccaneers.
This one's interesting for me, but I'm going to add some secondary help for them because I do think they could use some more athletes there. I'm going to go Nate Wiggins here.
Sure. Derek, you have the
He
Cardinals.
could very well end up being the best corner in this class when all said and done. He very well could.
Same kind of vibe as Tommy Eichenberg. Like, fuck you.
On Nate Wiggins?
Nate Wiggins was my number one corner
Oh,
in this
yeah.
class coming into this entire
I'm just
endeavor.
I'm just pointing out the measurables are all there that he could.
I know
I'm
what
just
you're
saying.
pointing out. Fuck you. Jamel
Yeah.
Dean is a great corner, so Nate Wiggins across from is great. I have the Cardinals, Josh.
Yeah,
So they took Marvin Harrison, which thank you, Josh,
you're welcome.
because you eventually you did something right.
I did one thing right.
Shout out Andre the Giant.
For
You
a
did something
different
right.
bird team.
Exactly.
Yep.
Mims is there. They don't need tackle. They already have a wide receiver. Brian Thomas is there. Defensive tackle, sure, Newton and Murphy are there. It feels right. It feels fine. Honestly, transparently, I don't give a shit about any of them. Because there is a guy here who feels like an Arizona Cardinal, and that's the splash play Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Oh, okay.
He feels like an Arizona Cardinal. He feels like Buda Baker. He feels a little nasty. He feels a little gnarly. And guess what? This team doesn't have an identity with Kyler Murray,
No.
with James Conner, with Marvin Harrison coming in. No one knows who they are. Kool-Aid McKinstry is the wild card of this draft at corner. Put him at the wild card team.
And their head
They
coach
could-
was a defensive coordinator, so
They
like
could win 3 games. They could win 12 games.
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck knows? Not me.
No.
My brain is absolutely fried. Which was it, Worthy or Mitchell that ran the incredible 40?
Worthy.
Worthy. Okay.
Mitchell's the George Pickens-esque.
Yeah. Okay.
Worthy is the
Speed burner.
He's worthy of that time.
Oh, fuck that. Never mind. Brian Thomas Jr. is available.
Yes, he is.
Let's go,
Yes,
Bills.
he is. Yes,
Bills
he
are back.
is. Yes, he.
My bad.
Josh takes Brian Thomas.
I almost fucked that one up too. Did you see that? I was teetering. That
You
was
did,
close.
but you came back.
All you had to
You
do is go to
recovered very nicely.
PFN and mock the picks as I'm doing, and you could have seen all the wide receivers there.
Did you,
I mean, imagine not taking Ladd McConkey.
Did you mine I have them taking Keon Coleman there? And him just being a bust.
Dude,
Because that's
Oh,
what the
I
Bills
mean,
do.
Keon Coleman is a bust.
Yeah.
Quentin Johnston was. Traylon Burks, I'm not proud of it, but guys, I know what I'm talking about.
Receivers, you can just smell them. It's just in your blood.
I
Um,
hope Keon Coleman has a very successful and happy life. I hope he's a bust just to keep this going.
Right. Austin, you have the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I'm gonna go a little bit. So, in my mind, 2 needs for this team. You have your corner, which obviously you could argue maybe TJ Tampa. I think he's more of a very top end second round kind of guy. Still love him, but then you have edge, which is Chop.
No.
I'm not doing it. I'm going with a player that they desperately need, and that's on the offense. And I'm going with the Detroit Lions. I am taking wide receiver Adonai Mitchell here.
Oh, okay.
If there's one position
Slut.
in if there's one at least receiver position they need, it's an outside guy. They lost Josh Reynolds. They have Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's their slot. You have Jameson, that's the vertical threat. You need a guy on the outside. Give me Adonai Mitchell. I don't care what his blood sugar levels are.
Imagine not giving Donovan Peoples-Jones his flowers.
Imagine.
Uh,
I do also just on the Lions. There's an edge player out of Michigan this year, Braden McGregor, who played with Aiden Hutchinson 2 years ago, and I could see those two reuniting. Not
I'll
at this
tell you-
pick, but
I'll tell you
later.
right now, Josh, the elf next to Legolas, no one remembers his name. So
You're so right. I don't know how to even deal with that. Greg, you
I
have.
wish I could tell you why I thought of that.
I don't know. Greg, you have the Baltimore Ravens.
This one's easy to me. Let's add another potential pass catcher for Lamar Jackson
let's
that'll
not.
probably not get any reps after a year, and then we'll immediately one out. Give me Xavier Worthy here at 30.
Stop giving him dudes named
Get-
Zay.
Can I give you my issue with
Yeah,
that, Greg?
sure.
Good.
What's the difference between him and Zay?
Zay Flowers. That's what I was gonna say. They're the
Like
same.
not in a like genuinely. If you look at the positional situation of wide receivers in the NFL, Xavier Worthy is much faster, but Zay Flowers proved to be the guy. What is the difference? Now, here's my thing. Lad McConkey is much more Zay Flowers than Xavier Worthy, but
Right.
really, what are you offering up to your quarterback who you've paid now twice, who you're leveraging your team to give him two smaller receivers who are athletes over big frames?
I don't know. I just kind of feel like I feel like the Ravens' MO somehow, some way is just always to go for the receivers that are burners instead of the size guys. I can't remember the last time they had a receiver in general that was just a go up and just make a play in contested field. Like even like Torrey Smith for that instance, or those type of receivers, like they were always the guys that like just tried to outrun corners. They were never a guy that you could rely on to like just make contested catches. I just feel like it's in their
Yep.
blood to do something like that. So that's kind of the way I'm leaning towards.
Yeah,
that.
I'm also
OBJ
wrong
does play on
sometimes.
that team.
I thought he was a free agent. in
Okay,
fairness.
but I was just saying.
Yeah.
It was a bad comment. I'm sorry, Derek.
Well, it's not a bad comment.
It's a
You're
bad
just
comment.
an idiot.
Thank you.
Rashard Bateman's there. Nelson Aguilar's there. Greg.
Nice.
We're waiting on
Some
Rashad
guy
Bateman to
named
break out
Sean-
for 4 years now. It's
Some
getting
douche named Sean Ryan's there out of Rutgers. All right, I'm up for the San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a 0% chance this is the actual draft that happens. I'm the 49ers, and I am sitting there, and I'm going, you know what, man? Tyler Guyton would be a good tackle. I love some of the other tackle is Morgan. Jordan Morgan, he's a project. Patrick Paul, he's a first-round kind of guy. Oh, the rest of the league, yet again, let the 49ers get the guy with the highest fucking upside. Amarius Mims.
Yeah.
So I need to have Trent Williams train Amarius Mims to play tackle? Yeah, I guess I can do that.
Oh, unbelievable.
Oh my God, talk about landing spot.
Yeah.
What do the fucking Chiefs do here?
I know what they do, Josh.
Do whatever the fuck they want.
You
Yeah,
Google
exactly.
40 times and you take the top one. Now
Yeah.
Xavier's gone.
You just like scroll down the list of wide
Yeah,
receivers
Josh, can I
to
can I
the
tell you about
absolute last
our,
one.
Our Lord and Savior Frank Crump?
Yeah, sure. We can take our Lord and Savior Frank Crumb here. Why not?
Don't you dare.
I love it.
Boom. Get Frank that first round money, baby.
Frank Crump.
Deserves it.
Frank Crump. I'm guessing we did not get jerseys, by the way.
No. Sorry, guys.
Damn.
That one fell through the cracks. That's on me.
That's
Offensive
okay.
line trainer Duke Mayweather on WVU center Zach Frazier. Zach Frazier's got Steelers written all over him. He kind of reminds me of a Mike Webster type.
Whoa!
Josh, Austin, Greg, do you guys know who Mike Webster is?
I do.
Damn right I do.
Hall of
Who's
Famer.
Mike Webster? Late round draft pick. God, goat,
God, goat.
thick
Mhm.
boy.
Was a thick boy.
Yeah,
That
he
is
was.
true.
Frazier
Terry
in the
Bradshaw
second.
loved to get down there in between him too.
Graham in the first, Frazier in the second. Dan Moore lives another fucking year.
Dan Moore lives another fucking day. That part I
Wow.
didn't like.
Me neither.
Yeah. Ay, ay, ay. All right.
Let's start the second round.
No. No.
I'll
That's
probably
been
go
the
live on Instagram next week.
Sure. Yeah. We'll be there. We'll be screaming about something.
Austin, thank you for joining, buddy.
Yeah, man, that was awesome.
You guys
Thank
have
you,
fun.
Professor. We appreciate it.
Austin,
Awesome.
anything you want us to do next week? Send you pics of a certain player or
Frank
I
Crumb.
mean-
streak, maybe?
Well, that depends on who's streaking. I mean,
Well,
that's
Greg, he's the hottest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just give me that Steelers. Just give me that Steelers pick, man. That's all I'm asking for. I wanna
Yeah,
see-
guys, we get to break the news this year.
Oh, we
Oh,
do.
Like think about it. Every year, we can't look at our phones. We know the picks.
Yeah.
We're there now. Granted, there's gonna be people who are like, "Oh, the big first," like Adam Schefter's a fucking dork. We're gonna know.
It's gonna be
You
fun.
guys do it for me, and that'll make up. That'll do everything.
All right, perfect.
We love it. Great idea.
But just a bunch of crumb guzzlers, baby.
That's all we are. That's all we're there for. Holding up signs
Yeah.
that says draft Frank
Give
Crumb.
me the crumb.
We need.
I
We do
need to
gotta
go
get
to bed.
signs. If we go, so Thursday we're going, Friday we're going, Saturday we're trying to go to the Tigers game.
Yeah.
If we could at least Saturday have signs, even at the Tigers game,
Yeah.
that we hold up and say draft Frank.
Draft
Crumb."
Frank Crumb.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dear
let's
Dan
get some
Campbell,
markers.
draft Frank Crumb. It needs
Yeah.
to be on the
Oh,
side.
that would.
Yeah.
He would be a perfect lion. In that case.
Good.
You don't even
All
know who he is.
Have a
I don't
badge
care.
that just says crumb on me, and then that'll be the end of it.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, Greg, you don't know who he is. That's fucking
I
offensive.
don't.
We
I've
talked
never
about
seen
him
him
a
in
ton.
person.
Yeah.
Never
No,
seen him
but
in person.
no,
What can I
no,
say?
but we've talked about him enough.
Since
Yeah.
I came back on the show, it's pretty much just
Do you
been-
know? Here's my
Frank Crumb
frustration,
talk.
Josh. Austin, you're sticking around for another 10 minutes. The amount of wrestlers I've Googled because you two beat dicks
Oh.
talk about them,
Oh.
and you haven't looked up Frank Crumb. Think about that, Greg. Like, genuinely feel bad because the amount of shit I've given, like the shit I've given about wrestlers,
Yep.
I made a top 50 list.
You
Yep.
did. It was impressive.
didn't.
I will say.
of
did not-
mostly
and-
indie
and-
names.
It was mostly indie names. That's what made it even more impressive.
There's three parts to it: indie names, guys who were popular when I watched, and Sasha Banks.
Yes, which is the perfect trifecta in my opinion. So
And you can't even Google a guy Josh and I've talked about for at least 7 episodes.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I'm clearly just
Me either.
slacking in general. So
No,
that's
I
just
think you're taking this as a joke, and I want you to know what happens tomorrow when I see you.
Nut taps.
Like
What?
I want you to know, if your shirt's
What?
that tight, I'm gonna rip it off
okay.
and rub your nipples.
Ooh.
Okay.
ice.
Good to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's something that's something I can game plan for, I guess.
Say
I
I'm
don't
a
fucking-
crumb guzzler.
I'm a crumb guzzler, motherfucker.
Fuck yeah, you are. Austin, say it.
I'm a crumb guzzler.
Super creative choice. I love it. Josh, you're up.
This feels disrespectful because I shook his dad's hand and I said, I just want to tell you that your child is an absolute darling, but I'm a crumb guzzler.
I'm a crumb guzzler.
I'm clipping that and sending it to him.
Frank.
Great.
That's all I asked for.
All right. Okay. Say goodnight, Derek.
Austin, I love you.
Love you all. Thanks for having me.